exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance, not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall, fear I've weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality.
Donald Trump sparked.
If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams.
Donald Trump sparked a
Marjorie Taylor Greene. This was the post that she put up moments ago.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
Hi. Hello. Happy Saturday. Hi. Hello. Hello out there. Okay. Okay. Hello. So, let me see here. Can everyone hear me? Everyone hear me out there? Everyone good? Everyone good? It briefly said for some reason that the YouTube chat cut out. You guys are hearing double? Is that so? Is that better? Is that better? Did that work? Much better now, I hope. Okay. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, for some reason, something appeared on the screen. I think it was an issue with YouTube. I didn't really change anything. It just okay. Anyway, all right, excellent. Hello, folks. So, who do we got here? Who do we got here today? Excellent. Let's see here. We got Global has been in chat for a while now, trying to get that #1 place. Global. Global. Oh my God. Sorry. Global. Okay. All right. Who else we got here? We got up and up and up and up and up. We got SoCal. Hello, SoCal. Hello, SoCal. Lost Legacy. Hello. Welcome back, Lost Legacy. It's been a while. I haven't seen you for a bit. Yes, we do need to discuss Mob Donnie and Trump. We also need to discuss Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I suspect sure, Lost Legacy. I suspect we'll have a lot to talk about in regards to her today. Hello, Dolly Boy. Hello, Dolly Boy. Hello, Lee Lane. Yeah, me neither, SoCal. I never foresaw MTG resigning from this. Even Blood Red as her district, as most of her base supported her calling out Trump. Yep, yep, yep. That is a good sign. A very good sign. Yeah, definitely Christmas come early, for sure, SoCal. Yeah, right, Dolly Boy. Okay. Um, Mithril, hello, Mithril. Mithril, evening, guys. This may be my last live chat, as it looks like bailiffs are going to come and seize my computer, as it's the only thing of value I have left. Is that so, Mithril? Uh, do you have? I'm guessing they're collecting on something because they're monstrous pigs. I am so sorry, Mithril. Is there anything we can do for you? Like, is there any way we could support you? We can't lose you, Mithril. Jesus Christ. They're gonna come take your computer? Um, goddamn state. All right. Lost Legacy, they'll never believe it. Yeah, totally Lost Legacy. They'll never believe it um until they're impacted. You're totally right, Lost Legacy. That's very true. Okay. Uh echo, 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 echo. Better, no problem. Okay, Freudian slip. I'll get it back. Okay. Hello, Trump failed. Hello. Please let Lauren Boebert be the next one to go. Oh gosh, I hope so. I know you're totally right, Trump failed. Like I see, Trump failed said, calling global Goebbels is a sign I studied too much fascism. It's bad. Trump failed. I still have nightmares from the times I was reading Nazi documents. I'm not even joking. I have like a anyway, I have like a recurring um or I have one recurring nightmare of a bunch of people getting executed. Uh like these monstrous figures laughing as they execute people. Like, I know I'm telling you guys too much, but yeah. So maybe I have studied too much fascism. Okay. Um, uh, okay. Let's see here. Well, I'm sorry. I thought I missed something here. So you also might lose your car, Mithril. Um, you have family, right, Mithril? Do you need because if there's any way we can support you, Mithril, let us know. Let us know. We can do something. Hopefully, we might be able to do something. Um, we'll see what we can do. Okay, if anything, we can see. Uh, okay, Mithril. All right, let us keep us updated. All right, guys. So, we can't let our resident anarchist get destroyed by the state here. Okay. Um, so, all right, guys. Few things to talk about. We're going to talk about not Lauren Boebert. See, um, we're going to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Obviously, as always, I've start with a little presentation here. And this is probably going to be a divisive presentation. It always is. Whenever I talk about Nietzsche or Nietzsche, okay, it's always divisive. Very divisive figure. I mean, for those who know who he is, right? Even for those who don't know who he is, once I start talking about him, you might have very, very various opinions on his ideas, okay? And we're doing this. Yeah, very nice mustache on Nietzsche. Um, and we're not really going to talk much about Nietzsche himself. We're mainly going to talk about his ideology, his worldview. And this is meant to be sort of a positive thing, right? Uh, I know. I'm sorry, Trump failed. Okay. This is going to be a positive thing. I'm a fan. I like Nietzsche, but many people misunderstand what Nietzsche was saying in his works. And it's actually a very optimistic message. And because it's a Saturday, I thought I would kind of give this optimistic message to all of you. Um, yeah, and the Nazi, you're right, Dolly Boy. The Nazis really misinterpreted him, and his sister was a massive Nazi, and a lot of Nazis kind of viewed him, kind of liked him because they completely misunderstood what he was saying. Because Nazis are not bright, shocking. So we'll do a little. I'll talk a little bit about Nietzsche, his ideology, his worldview, and how it applies to all of you. Okay. Um, am I missing anyone? Do we, how many people do we have here? I feel like we don't got that many folks. Oh, we got 9. Okay, that's good. Yeah, 9 here, not that many over on, did a thing go out on, Discord? I mean, people might be busy. It is a Saturday. I'm just curious if a thing went out on Discord here. Or it might be the fact that I put God is dead in the description. People don't want to join. Okay. Anyway, because Nietzsche's controversial. So let's see. Um, let me see here. Okay. Let me go back here. Yeah, it's just all you over there, Dolly boy. Okay. Uh, yeah. Hello, HGMS. Yeah, I know, Dolly boy. You're the only one over there on Twitch. Okay, so guys, there's not that many of us here. That's great though. It'll be easier for us to communicate and such. So if we get 1 super chat, Jester hat, um, it totally Trump failed. 3 super chats, Jester collar, 5 Jester makeup. If we get to 7, we'll play a game together, and if we get to 10, we'll do a Jester after dark stream. Okay. Okay. So let us. We had a lovely debate yesterday. Oh, Ida, I'm sorry, Ida. Hello, Ida. I did see you here. Why didn't I say hi to you, Ida? I promise, Ida, I'm not avoiding you. Hello, Ida. Glad to see you here. Okay, glad to see you here, Ida. Forgive me. How did I miss you? I did miss you. Did I miss anyone else? I feel like I'm missing some people because I skipped a lot of crap. Plant Sunshine. Hello, Plant Sunshine. Welcome, Plant Sunshine. Okay, glad to see you here. Thank you for the super chats, Plant Sunshine. So we'll start with the hat. Forgive me, Ida. Okay, okay. Lost Legacy. Thank you, Lost Legacy. Okay. Okay. Great start here. Okay. Oh my God, we already got the caller going. Okay. First of all, thank you, Dolly Boy. Thank you, Lost Legacy. Thank you, Plant Sunshine. Now we'll put on the caller. Okay. That was very good. Okay. All right. So, woof, that was quick. So now, yeah, good job, everyone. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for letting me exploit you for your money. Okay. Actually, no, I'm not exploiting you, but you can decide that, I guess, but I don't think I'm exploiting you. All right. Thank you. All right. So, crap. Hello, Soup Cheese. Hello, Soup Cheese. We do need the Jester hat to better understand Nietzsche, literally. Like that's actually a good point. Okay. So, guys, let's talk about Nietzsche for a second. Okay. And again, so I understand that this will likely cause some debates. That's okay. I want us to please say how you feel about it. Understand that we're going to need to make some assumptions in order to understand Nietzsche. Okay. And Nietzsche was very, his approach to things was very, he liked causing controversies. He liked phrasing things in a way that were controversial. Uh, yeah, I know, you're right. I know Lost Legacy. Right? Yeah. Okay, anyway. Yeah, Lost Legacy, better our money go out to you than Nick Fuentes or some other harmful individual who gets money from their audience. Yeah, no, I know. I'm not like, yeah, anyway. Yeah, absolutely the original philosophical troll. Absolutely. Okay. His whole thing was like trolling people, but like, I'm telling you, he had an optimistic message. You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. So the name of this presentation is God is Dead. Already we start with a pretty how do I say this, trolly sort of statement there, a very kind of shocking statement, a statement that is clearly controversial to even say, right? And that's the point of Nietzsche, okay? There's a reason. So I organized this whole presentation in a way I felt that Nietzsche would have appreciated. I kind of tried to speak like he does in the presentation. You'll see I kind of used images and words like he would use them. And I even put God is Dead in the title of the stream in order to really hammer home the Nietzschean sort of thing here, trying to be not necessarily offensive, but shocking. Okay. And he did that for a reason. Okay. But it's a very optimistic message, and that's why I want to share it with you. So let's get into it. Okay. So before we begin, this is a quote from Nietzsche. And he said, sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. And I think we all know that there's a lot of truth in that statement. And today, you all know I'm an atheist, so this is easy This is this is easy for me to do this presentation because I'm an atheist. You have to understand though, Nietzsche was an atheist, and he uh I do, Dolly Boy. This is how I'm losing my train of thought here. He thought that Christians, for example, or anyone who believed in God was sort of fooling themselves. Now, I don't fully agree with that statement, but we're going to have to make an assumption here when we talk about Nietzsche's philosophy. Okay, so you're going to have to assume that at the very least, pretend like there isn't a God, or that we know pretty certainly that God isn't real. Okay, and I know that that is hard to do, but you'll see what I mean here, okay? And because that's like the first step to sort of understanding Nietzsche. All right. He grew up in a time where there had been massive advances in science, technology, medicine, things like that, in the 19th century. And from his perspective, he had essentially, um, he had essentially, we humans had essentially shown that all these things that we thought were related to God weren't real, therefore God was dead. Okay. We that idea is gone. It's no longer important. Now, obviously, that's not true. There were still a lot of believing people in Europe at the time. But okay. All right. So let's go on here. So again, now we'll get into the main stuff. Here is a quote from Nietzsche, and then I'll explain it. God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? What what was holiest and mightiest of all that the world has yet owned has bled to death under our knives. Who will wipe this blood off of us? What water is there for us to clean ourselves? What festivals of atonement, what sacred games shall we have to invent? Is not the greatness of this deed too great for us? Must we ourselves not become gods simply to appear worthy of it? And this is very common of the way he spoke. Okay. Okay. So again, I use a bunch of I tried to structure these like he would have liked. I put art in the background and stuff. Okay, so what does he mean? Murderers of all murderers. So I want everyone and metaphorically look down at your hands. Do you see the blood? We have killed God. We have killed God. What have we done, folks? What have we done? We've killed God. What have we done? All we know, like everything we thought we knew, all the morality, all our beliefs about the world, are now built around a deceased God because we killed him. You can see the blood on your hands, I'm sure, right now as you sit here. Um, all the order we gave to our lives around this idea of God is gone because we've killed him or her or whatever it was. Okay. Our morality is gone. We based our morality around God. Okay. Not only that, doesn't this also mean that death is final? There's nothing after death, right? Because there's no God, there's no heaven, nothing like that. God is dead. Death is final. We've destroyed everything, okay? And we are the ones who killed him. We have proven through science, technology, through art, through everything else we have done as humans that God doesn't exist, that he is not real, and we have killed him through our ingenuity. We have replaced him with things like modern medicine. Um, uh, we have done all this stuff, okay? We have killed God, okay? Um, Yeah, exactly, Dolly Boy. So Dolly Boy, I shouldn't interrupt myself here, but Dolly Boy, it's funny how you talk about he is more hopeful than anything, because everyone associates him with nihilism, right, Dolly Boy? But he was anti-nihilism, which is funny. Okay, all right, all right. Um, okay, so that is the beginning of his work. Now, okay, shall we? It's dark, right? And a lot of people end there. They think that they see this part of it and they're like, wow, well, that's really dark. He was a dark guy. I guess nothing means anything, right? That is not what he meant. And you'll see here what he goes on to say. Okay. So, what does this mean, folks? We've killed God. God is dead. Uh, so, are we doomed to despair and nihilism? I mean, without God, is not the world a meaningless mechanical nightmare? Everything is just sort of operates according to scientific principles. There's nothing special about anything. Everything is just kind of, that has a scientific reason behind it, has a physics reasons, biology reason behind it. There's nothing particularly interesting. There's nothing really transcendental about anything. There's no God. Okay. Doesn't that sound like a mechanical nightmare? All right. Have we not killed our joy by killing God? By killing God, haven't we killed our joy? Like, where can we find joy now? God is dead. All the mystery is gone. Okay. We know things can be discovered. If things that we don't know, we know or probably have some sort of natural explanation, right? Isn't our joy gone? And doesn't that also mean that there is no good or evil? Like, how can we decide what's good or what's evil if there's no God, right? No basis in morality, okay? So shouldn't we be doomed to despair and nihilism? Nihilism being a word that basically means that nothing means anything. Nothing means anything. Okay. Is that what we're doomed to? No, flat out. Uh, Um, no, that is not true. No, you're right, Mithro. And a lot of atheists, that's why I like Nietzsche, atheist. Okay, um, that's why I like Nietzsche, Mithril, is because even though I'm an atheist, I do not like the atheists who think that that is all there is to life. That the mechanistic explanations and things like that. Um, I don't like that. And that's one of the reasons I like Nietzsche, because to me, Nietzsche gives an alternative for atheists, in my opinion. Okay, you're very right. Atheists like that annoy me, and I find them very boring. Okay, I got to tell you. All right, so no, that does not mean, even though God is dead, even though we have killed him, does not mean that we are reduced to nihilism, that nothing means anything, that the world is a mechanistic nightmare. It does not. It does not. No. No. Okay. I noticed the importance of this answer. That's why I made a whole page with just the word no on it, because that is the thing that people forget about Nietzsche. Okay. He is giving you hope. All right. So it's actually the opposite, right? It is the opposite of bad news. It is actually very good news. And it is actually very good news. Okay. Rejoice. We should all be rejoicing. Okay. Rejoice. And you notice again another very Nietzschean page here. Rejoice, because we get to start at square one. All those self doubts we have, all those doubts about ourselves, about the actions we take, all those self judgments we're always making of ourselves. Okay. Um, Okay. Yeah, that's nonsense, Mithril. I'm glad you should have unsubbed to that person. Okay. All those self doubts, all those self judgment. I would not global. All those mistakes that chain us to the past. Who cares, right? Who cares? They don't matter. Okay. We're freed from them. Okay. We're freed from them. We have erased them by killing God, because nothing, hey, this sounds bad, but if nothing really matters, then why the hell do we worry? Like, why do we care if we've made a mistake, or why are we judging ourselves or doubt, like, or being mean to ourselves? Why are we afraid? Like, who cares? Okay. We have erased all that. Um, all that fear and stuff we had as children, we don't need to worry about it. Okay. We are free. We have been liberated from all this stuff. Okay. By killing God. Now, okay. And not only that, all right. So we're free now. Um, we don't have to rely on other people telling us what is good and what is evil. We don't have to rely on these beliefs. Okay. Correct, Pizza. That is exactly what he was saying. Okay. So this is another quote from Nietzsche here. Okay. As soon as it becomes possible, by dint of a strong will, to overthrow the entire past of the world, then in a single moment we will join the ranks of independent gods. World history for us will then be nothing but a dreamlike otherworldly being. The curtain falls. One man and man once more finds himself a child playing with the whole world. Um, uh, And this child, awoken by the first glow of morning, who laughingly wipes the frightful dreams from his brow. Good God. This is good, right? This is, um, David, I thought you were a Nazi coming into chat at first because I saw the 88 at the end of, because YouTube right now is posting people's user tags, and I saw the 88. It says at Cybersnake88, and I'm like, someone has 88, but I know. But anyway, hello, David. I'm pretty sure you're not a Nazi, David. Anyway, okay. Hello, David. All right. So again, we're because of God being dead, we are liberated. We're like children, right? Like we're experiencing the world on from the beginning. Okay. We don't have any of these things. Like we don't have any of these preconceived notions standing in our way, right? Um, After all, folks, after all, can not only gods kill a god to begin with, right? Like we must be pretty cool if we were able to kill a god to begin with. I mean, it's kind of what is that called? Deicide when you kill a god, okay? And since we have killed God, that we must be gods too, right? We must, if we have destroyed everything that makes God God, we have the powers of God, do we not? Okay. Uh, okay. So, what does this lead us to understand now? We are the masters of our own fate. There's not some other being doing it. We are the makers of our morality. Okay, we are. We are the creators of meaning in the world. Okay, we are. We decide what our fate is. We make our morality. We can decide. Um, uh, we can decide what we think is moral and not moral. We can create meaning in the world. Yeah, Dolly boy, we're really damn strong, okay? Um, Pizza, and therefore the fault lies not within our stars, but yes, absolutely. And that also, by the way, yeah, means that anything we do that is a problem, we can fix it because we're the ones that created the problem, right? Um, okay. So, all right. Now, this page isn't set up as much as Nietzsche would have liked it, but for the sake of explanation here, let's talk about transvaluation of morality. So Nietzsche believed that God is dead basically means that the idea of God can no longer provide values to people, right? Any value we derive, like any values we derive from the idea of a God, are no longer relevant because we've killed God. So, in order to avoid falling into despair or nihilism, we must create new values. All right, we can decide what those values are. We can decide that. Okay, our new values can't and shouldn't be motivated by the same instinct that gave birth to Christian values. Uh, because according to Nietzsche, Christian values focused on demonizing humanity and human bodies. It focused on otherworldly things as opposed to things on this earth. Nietzsche pretty famously said we must have faith in earth. Uh, like we have to have faith in our physical existence, in our planet. We need to stop thinking outside of it, and think about our lives, our physical forms, ourselves, our planet. Okay, and we need to come up with a morality that okay, is more what's best for humans and focuses more on the reality on Earth. Okay, um, our new values must be motivated by a love of this world and a love of life. Isn't that lovely? We should come up with a set of values that are about a love of this world and a love of this life, because this is the life we have. If God is dead, there's no afterlife, right? Okay. We must reevaluate all of our values, and this is what every individual should do. Reevaluate all of our values and discard the ones that are without use, that you believe just for the sake of believing because you've been taught those values. Now then, does that mean that you should discard all the values that you have? No. It means you should review them, okay? And you should keep the ones that you feel are reflective of the values that you hold, as opposed to something someone's told you to hold. Okay. And then add other values if you feel those are important to you. You decide. You are the God. You can decide your values. Okay. Correct, pizza. Nothing matters and therefore everything matters. Exactly. Okay. We can decide what is good and evil. Okay. Uh, and in my opinion, folks, human beings are sort of naturally pretty egalitarian and altruistic. Yeah, they can be pretty cruel to each other, but I much rather I trust us to get some good values going. Okay. Um, there are people who say that without a god you can't have good values. No. Okay. I think it actually leans more towards every civilization on Earth has had a certain set of values that are pretty similar. Yeah, there's differences, but has a pretty similar morality. I think we all will come to the right conclusions here. Okay. And we don't, and it also means we can discard values that are actually bad that we previously held. Okay. For no reason, just because we were taught it, because that's what God said. Okay. And Nietzsche went on to say that, uh, okay, right, Dolly boy, uh, that we need to avoid being like the last person, okay, the last person. Um, and what the last person um, the last person is this idea. Yeah, there you go. Oh my God, you're so right, Cybersnake. Okay, love is beyond good and evil, right? Love is beyond good and evil. He warned or Nietzsche warned that the society of the last man, so the last man is a type of person, okay, would be too barren and decadent to support the growth of healthy human life or great individuals. Now, as I kind of read this next part, I think we all know this person. A lot of us are this person, and that's okay. I'm not saying it's bad. Again, that's a value judgment, which Nietzsche isn't, a big fan of, I guess. Well, he might be in this case. But uh, the last man is only possible by mankind having bred an apathetic person or society who loses the ability to dream, to strive, and who become unwilling to take risks, instead simply earning their living and keeping warm. So uh, this is his idea here is that the last man is someone who basically just exists to survive, doesn't take risks, keeps their head down, sticks to established narratives, follows the rules laid down for them by authority figures, um, submits to authority, blends in, with the group. What's that term? Like accepts peer pressure and things like that. Um, and to Nietzsche, that's the last man, and our society has become full of quote unquote last men or last people. Um, okay. So hey, that's fair, Ida, right? I know Nietzsche has some interesting views on religion, but that you please believe what you want. Um, yeah, uh, so Doug Cybersnake, maybe at some point you and I could talk about Foucault. Mm, I don't know about that. Maybe okay. I haven't heard that argument, Simon. I'd have to look into it. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Stay woke, sheeple. Yes, exactly, Dolly boy. Stay woke, sheeple. Okay. So he and Nietzsche famously said, "There exists no more repulsive and desolate creature in the world than the man who has evaded his genius, and who now looks furtively to left and right, behind him and all around him. In the end, such a man becomes impossible to get a hold of, since he is wholly exterior, without kernel, a tattered, painted bag of clothes." Um, he used some pretty, strong language there. Don't be the last man. Okay. Don't just be existing for the sake of getting on day to day. Um, be an individual. Okay. Um, think for yourselves, question what you've been taught, what you know. Okay. And let's go on to the next page here. Don't be the last man. This brings us to the Übermensch, okay, which is all very misunderstood idea of Nietzsche's. I'm sure David would agree with me on that. Very misunderstood idea of Nietzsche's. First of all, I oftentimes hear the word Übermensch described as like Superman. That is not in German what Übermensch means. Über does not necessarily mean super. It means like over or above. So, like the overmensch, and mensch does not mean man, as in like a male. It means a person. So like the over person. Yeah, they way overtook it, Dolly Boy. Okay, the over person, the above person, the person that goes above and beyond, or like is above the rest. Okay, and the over person is this idea of an Übermensch is the goal that humans should strive for, and the Übermensch strives to break the chains that society and culture have placed on his or her thoughts and actions and behaviors and worldview. Okay, and they rise above it. They rise above the sea of the masses and the culture and the society and think for themselves. Okay. The Ubermensch creates meaning out of things for themselves. They don't need someone else telling them what this or that means or how to think about this or that. They think about it for themselves and they develop their own meaning. The Ubermensch is confident. People make mistakes, but remember, God is dead. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So you're confident. Yeah, you might make mistakes. Don't let it get you down too much. Okay. They love themselves. Okay, the Ubermensch does, and is always striving to improve themselves. That he had this great idea of striving. That basically life is this constant striving, this constant doing things. Uh, Nietzsche is love. Nietzsche is life. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, David. Absolutely. Nietzsche is love, and Nietzsche is life. Okay. Um, I totally agree, Cybersnake. Okay. Okay. Zero okay. Uh, so that's a new. So you for we need to be. Our goal should be becoming the Ubermensch. Okay, Ida. Good question. That is one. Ida asks narcissist. Um, and Ida, that is a fair point. That is one critique. I personally don't think he is saying it is. Yeah, really is uplifting. I don't think he is a narcissist. He's simply he's trying. He's more of an anti. He doesn't want people to despise themselves and who they are and stuff. He's against being self-conscious, being self-degrading, not liking yourself. He's trying to reverse that. He wants people to understand that they are human beings and that they don't have to hate themselves so much for being human beings. Um, okay. So like you should love yourself. Like you can't control the world. I mean, you can't really yeah, he absolutely was. He absolutely was. Uh um he was an elitist, okay, in a lot of ways. You can kind of tell. But that's not how I interpreted Ida, but you can. That's the other thing too. He doesn't really want people to interpret him, and like he doesn't like having a set interpretation of a lot of things. Okay, I know. Okay, um, yeah. I wonder, Dolly Boy. Right. Well, Nietzsche ended up having syphilis, and he kind of went crazy because of he lost his mind because of syphilis. But you're right, Dolly Boy. Okay. All right. So some notes here from everything I've taught you about Nietzsche. Okay. Your mistakes are meaning. Okay, nothing really matters. Okay, so make it matter. Good. You get to choose. You get to choose what matters to you. Okay. Your mistakes are basically meaningless. What is a mistake, anyways? Like seriously, like, uh, a mistake is only a mistake if you judge it as a mistake, right? You can decide what to judge as a mistake. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about sociopathy here. You can see how the one critique you could have of Nietzsche is that, like, well, how might this be beneficial for all society? But his hope was not that everyone would become cruel bastards. Okay, but regardless, what is a mistake, right? Like a lot of us are very self-conscious. Like we make, I know I am. I make a mistake and then I think about it. I think about it. I think about it. Like it's okay to make mistakes. You don't have to judge yourself so harshly. Okay. There's no sky god judging you for it. We decide to judge it or not. Okay. Number two, that voice in your head judging you is not your voice. We have been raised and taught to view ourselves in certain ways. Always question that and only let yourself judge yourself. Okay. There are layers upon layers of education. Um, exactly, Ida. You're right. Okay. We need there's layers and layers of things that we have been taught, ways of behaving. Our parents taught us to behave certain ways. Society has taught us certain ways to behave. All these different things um, are telling us what to do and how to behave. And sometimes we're not even aware of it because we're so used to listening to these things and we've been taught to listen to those things. But try to deconstruct that. Always question the voice inside your head that's telling you to do that. Okay, not like if you're hallucinating, but you know what I mean. We've been taught to view ourselves in certain ways. Always question that and only let yourself judge yourself. Remember, you're a god, right? You helped kill God. You are a god. You are a creator. You're the one that can decide whether to judge yourself or not. Okay. Um, Number 3 here. What do you value? What do you value? Uh, what do you think is good and what do you think is evil? Begin to build, um, begin to build your own sense of morality. All right. And then be disciplined in your adherence to the morality. Okay. Nietzsche doesn't want people just to be like these amoral people that don't have any sense of morality or anything. To him, that is very unfulfilling for humans. So if you should build your own sense of morality and stuff, but then you'd better adhere to it. Okay. Because it's very human, right? Uh, to to have morality and kind of find meaning in life based off that morality. Hello, Death Die today. Okay. What do you think is good? What do you think is evil? What do you value? Build your own morality. Okay. Um, 4, it's okay to dream. It's okay to add mysticism where there is none. It's okay to enjoy rituals, to admire art, find and create meaning. Ignore those that claim objectivity um, is more important. Objectivity over the worth of what you find transcendent. Okay, it's okay to uh find meaning in, like, let's say, like the supernatural, or like if you want to, like, I don't know, if you want to do tarot cards or something, like, okay, or to like find certain kinds of arts meaningful, or to find, poetry meaningful, or to engage in rituals that you find meaning in. Okay, as long as you're the one who finds meaning in it, and you have, um, with that, human beings like that sort of thing. Even though God is dead, and we have found a lot of these things can be explained mechanistically, right? Mechanistically, that does not mean that you can't find value in things and ignore the mechanistic aspects of them. Seriously, like, it's only human, right? And don't let other people uh, decide for you what should be considered transcendent or not transcendent. So, like, if you like a piece of art, but then some critic is like, "I don't like this piece of art. You shouldn't like this piece of art." Screw them. You can find transcendence wherever you want to. Okay, there is no objective reality to transcendence. I think Mithril, if Mithril's still in here, Mithril, I'm an atheist, and I know we've had a lot of conversations, Mithril. Like, even though, Mithril, we might not have the same beliefs of the world, I want you to find transcendence wherever you want, okay? And I am very happy for you. I find transcendence in things. Okay, I do. For example, Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. I find it somewhat transcendent. Like, okay, we could talk about this, but find transcendence. It's okay. All right. Um, Lastly here, be brave, live adventurously, and take risks. We only live once, right? And if you make a mistake, who cares? We've liberated ourselves, right? We can make mistakes now. Life should be exciting, okay? Life should be exciting. You should take risks, put yourself out there. Um, all right? Don't be afraid. Okay? I know that's and by the way, I know all of this is much easier said than done, and it sounds almost like a self-help kind of thing. There you go, Antifa U. I please. Ren is my transcendence too, Antifa U. Okay. Is that you, Doug? Antifa U? Is that you? Okay. All right. So that is Nietzsche. All right. very positive, optimistic view of the world, right? Like when I first read Nietzsche, it was quite eye-opening for me. It was like, oh, this is actually quite nice. Okay, I thought so, Antifa. Quite nice, right? Um, not too much food, not too little food, not too much money, not too little money. You're totally right, Ida. We need balance, right? We need balance. And actually Nietzsche sort of I know Trump failed, right? I do kind of sound like Miss Frizzle. We need like Nietzsche's like even said, like, yeah, we should also obviously when we make our morality, we make our view of the world, it should be based upon the material reality around us, right? Like so obviously I hope that the ideology you develop is beneficial for your survival, I would hope. It doesn't have to be, but okay. Um, all right. Okay, folks. Eat to live, don't live to eat. Yes. Uh, yeah. Okay. All right, guys. So that is Nietzsche, and that is my presentation on Nietzsche. I'm gonna put my face back up here. So, and I know, uh, bringing it back a bit here. Oh my gosh, what happened to this? Oh no, the multi chat disappeared. Oh no. Okay. Uh, Let me quickly fix the multi chat. I'm not sure what happened to the multi chat. So if we multi chat. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Multi chat. Okay. So even for those in the chat that do you believe in God and stuff? This is not. You can still somewhat understand Nietzsche because you should question the things you believe, even if you still believe in God, right? Um, so, or Nietzsche even might say, examine what you believe, and if you still want to believe in God, hey, more power to you. If that's where you found transcendence, okay, good for you. That's fine. Um, all right, all right. Um, yes, Mithril. Okay. Um, so guys, give me a second here. I don't know why my super chat is failing me. Give me a second. So what we're gonna do now, folks? We got some stuff to talk about. Um, in a future quiz, we might have some questions about Nietzsche, such as uh, what does Nietzsche? Who does Nietzsche said kill God or whatever, or something like that, or what is uh, what is the person that Nietzsche said we should all strive for, which would be the Ubermensch. Okay, um, and you have to understand too, folks, is a lot of people, for example, the Nazis heavily misinterpreted Nietzsche, okay? Like really misinterpreted Nietzsche. And a lot of them thought he was like promoting like superhumans, um, and thought that like there was no like morality. We could just construct our own morality that was like as horrible as we wanted it to be and things like that. That is not what he meant, okay? Mm, yeah, you're right, Ida. You're right, Ida. Okay. All right. Um, Yeah, he does, Dolly Boy, he does. But that's his whole point is that he doesn't want to set anyone's ideology for them. He wants people to come up with their own ideology. But if there's one thing you can be certain of is that he does not like obedience to authority figures, uniformity and things like that. And the Nazis were very uniform, very obedient to authority figures and did not think for themselves. He would have hated that. Hated that. Okay? Absolutely hated that. Okay. So it's hilarious that they were all like obsessed with him. A lot of the not all of them, but a lot of the Nazis liked him. Um, okay. All right. So mm, yeah, yeah, pessimistic eyes. Okay. Hello, low. Okay. Exactly, Dolly Boy. It's a shame his sister sold out his ideas to the Nazis. Hello, Matt Sai guy. Thank you, low life. Thank you. Slava Ukraini. All right. So, guys, we got some other stuff to talk about. First thing I want to talk about, thank you everyone for listening to me. By the way, if we get 2 more super chats. I'll put on the jester makeup. Sorry, I just need a break here to drink a little coffee. Nietzsche gets me thirsty. And by the way, Nietzsche ended up dying of syphilis, and kind of slowly lost his mind over time, which is what syphilis does to you. It kind of reminds me, um, really, the super chat isn't working, Ida? Is that true? That's weird. Well, well, maybe it isn't. I can't tell. All right. So that's weird. It's not working, Ida. That's strange. Let me see if I can do something about it. So low life, what we're doing, forgive me, Lola. I was just taking a brief break. Oh, that's weird. Last time too. Oh, weird. Okay. Let me take a look here, Ida. So it should say, I mean, we've had 3 so far. One was from Twitch, so I counted that. Let me just see if there's something going on. Yeah. We got anyone else? Has anyone else tried it and it not work for someone? Yeah, just like Al Capone, 100%. So Al Capone, he got a syphilis, and he spent the last few days of his life basically fishing out of a swimming pool because he had lost his mind because of the syphilis. There we go, Ida. Thank you so much, Ida. Really, thank you very much for the super chat. Okay. Oh, that's cute. I love that little animal. That's adorable. Okay, folks, one more. Thank you very much. One more, and we'll do. I'll put on the makeup. Okay. So, low life today, we're not doing a Kahoot. That'll be next Friday. But what we will do today, folks, is yeah, it's so boring, Mithril. It's so boring. Okay. Thank you, Ida, very much. Okay. Hmm. Folks, if anyone else tries the super chat and it doesn't work, let me know. Ida says it's not working. I just want to double check to see if it's Ida's, if something's going on with Ida's internet, or if it's something overall. Let me take a drink. Woo. Okay, guys. So let's talk. There's some things we need to talk about, and I want to get your all of your opinions on. So this happened yesterday. All right. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. The Jewish space lasers woman who said that who said that the Rothschilds were using space lasers to start fires in California or whatever the hell she said. The lunatic who has weirdly recently been really going after Trump for the Epstein files and has weirdly suddenly become very pro-Palestine, even though that's probably because she's anti-Semitic. I don't know. Like, she might be one of the people that is actually anti-Semitic that goes after Palestine. Anyway, did we all hear the news? Did we all hear the news about yeah, coward hypocrite, totally. Do we all hear the news about Marjorie Taylor Greene, our dear Marge Greene here, who decided to resign. Now, let's just watch what she has to say here. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Mithra, okay? Yeah, that's so true, SoCal. Her tantric sex guru must have enlightened her. Because she cheated on her husband with a tantric sex guru. That's not a joke, by the way. That actually happened. She cheated on her husband with a tantric sex guru. Okay. Close enough, Dolly Boy. Okay. Let's see what she had to say here.
This is her message to Georgia's.
I don't know what channel this is. Live now, Fox. Okay.
14th district. She is saying thank you to her constituents again. She wrote that.
I know. Ida, I think you're right. I'm going to read what Ida said here. Ida says MTG goes from the most idiotic behavior to talking sense. There is something that does not match up. I believe something we don't see is coming. I totally agree, Ida. I knew what you meant, Dolly Boy. Like I don't know. Maybe she's planning. She's planning to Mithril. Maybe she's planning to run for president someday or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Note on social media, she also released the video attached to this post We just got the video in-house. Let's play.
By the way, folks, I know you're all deeply sad that she won't be, in office anymore. It's okay. We can cry together. We can cry together. Deeply sad.
This
Deeply
is the
sad.
full thing.
Hi, everyone. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same.
I don't mean to be a spoil sport here, but didn't she do that exact same thing? Wasn't she like always demonizing the left, demonizing trans people, demonizing gay people, demonizing black people, demonizing Muslims, demonizing anyone, anywhere, all the time, all the time? Okay.
No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman.
Hey,
The debt
Hedonic
goes higher,
Samuel. Hedonic
corporate and
Samuel.
global
Hello,
interests
Hedonic
remain
Samuel.
Washington's
Who, Hedonic Samuel, are you, who are you? Have you been in here before? Just because the YouTube has been changing names, and do you normally go by a different name, or are you new? If you're new, it's fine. It says Hedonic Samuel.
sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor
Yeah,
or
Dolly
legal
boy.
labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline.
Oh, got it.
The average-
Okay, that I knew it. Hello, Hedonic Treadmill. Welcome back.
Average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates
Dolly
life
boy.
at conception. And
Ew, God.
I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders.
I say, folks, first of all, I know I'm being kind of mean to her. I just don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, do you blame me? Obviously not. But she's saying some weird things though, like she bashing like the corruption of the two parties and stuff. But I just always find it so amusing how folks like her always love talking about like conception and like people's genitalia and like sexual activity. And I've said this before, but they must be thinking about that stuff a lot. Like I don't go around thinking about what other women are doing with their genitals, or what women are doing with their uteruses, or like it's weird to me how. And then she emphasized it, like she emphasized that fact. She's like, because I believe it's at conception. Okay. Conception is where an ejaculant filled with sperm meets with an egg or an ovum. It's just weird that you're anyway, they just love talking about this shit. Okay.
I have fought hard for that. I fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars.
Okay, she has been pretty good on
with
that.
almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly
Right, Hedonic
sidelined.
Samuel.
We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly resulting in the House.
Well, why do you think she is so mad at Trump, Hedonic Samuel? Like, honest question, because I'm trying to figure this out. Why is she so mad at Trump? Because of what he said about her? And why was she going after him so hard before? Because I know the Epstein files. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out with all you. And Antifa, every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is good. Right, Antifa, you. Right.
Not working for the entire time. And we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass the plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies.
Interesting.
The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and
Medical. Oh my God. See, there was before she's like, they're just trying to divide you. And here she saying she wants English to be the official language, wants to medically trans a minor, doesn't want us ban medically transing. By the way, if you ban medically transing a minor, which is not the correct term, okay, what that means you're for, what that means you're for is that you are for the mass unaliving, self-unaliving of trans people, because if a minor transitions while they're a minor, it highly reduces the likelihood of a self-unaliving later in life, if you know what I mean, which I can't say because of YouTube. Okay, so technically she's not against a minor transitioning; she is against the life of an adult, if that makes sense. Okay. I see all your guys' great comments here. I'm reading all of them. She's a mixture of the files, Israel, and now she's getting death threats. That's very possible. Okay. No, you're right, Ida. Okay. I know, Dolly Boy, and I will say, I think I said this before. Yeah, we obviously we're struggling with. Yeah, she did just say medically trans. Yeah, okay. Of course she is. Okay, of course she's for. You're totally right, Ida. This is a natural backlash to what Trump's doing. He's pushing people to the left. It's kind of funny. Oh, I got you, Paranormal. Okay. Or Mithril. Yeah, so these are all good ideas, folks. It might be a combination of things. Okay.
other bills like eliminating
Oh, I'm sorry. What I was about to say is that, conditions for trans people are actually worse in the UK than they are in the United States, even now. I'm not exaggerating. So we always can't forget our brothers and sisters, they, thems, and such living in the UK who still, partially because of the TERF movement over there, don't have rights that even trans people here have, even underneath this authoritarian regime. Anyway.
Capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas. They all sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media, obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points. Because they know how much credit card debt they have, they know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and know food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid.
SoCal, right?
These are the people I represent and love, because that is...
How do I say this? Okay, I shouldn't say this, but I agree the American people aren't stupid, but I'm pretty sure her base... How do I say this? They're stupid, okay? I shouldn't speak that way.
Who all of my family and friends are, common Americans. I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs.
Anyway.
I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he
I believe it,
facilitated
Trump failed.
dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt U.S.
For all the lefties in chat, who here agrees that NPR and PBS are hard left? Oh my God, I love that. I love that. To think that anyway, to think that either of those are anywhere near the left or like hard left is hilarious to me.
SAID, and I did that as chair of the DOJ subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for
Ida.
years.
You're right.
I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all.
Okay, well, here we're getting to she's still protecting Trump, right? You know, it's funny, back like in the Middle Ages, even people who were against what the king was doing would like if you were rebelling against the king, you would make the argument that what you were doing was for the benefit of the king, even if it was against the king. So let's say you were rebelling against a tax increase you didn't like. You would say that you're rebelling against the king's advisors who are tricking the king into doing something that he doesn't actually want to do. Okay. So you would always try to frame it as I'm not against the king. I'm for the king in some way. Okay. That is exactly what this sounds like, right? And maybe she does still like Trump, but like saying the Republicans stabbed him in the back, I'm just resisting the people who stabbed him in the back. It's almost like you're still kissing the ring. You're trying to avoid outright saying you don't like what Trump is doing. It reminds me of like reading documents from the Middle Ages or from up until like the French Revolution.
All been welcomed in right after the election. And I will never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021. My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us. Through it all, I never changed or went back.
I'm sorry, that was the most inhuman statement. My poor mother and my poor father. It was so hard for all of us. Okay. Yeah, like a robot, Ida. Okay.
Back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs, AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams, standing strongly against all.
And by the way, the reason why they used to do that during the time, sorry, I know I have ADHD, during the times of kings is because the peasantry, the vast majority of the peasantry, even if they were mad at the king, still believed that the king was a divine figure assigned by God. So you can't really you can't really fight against the king because then all the peasantry will turn against you because they still believe the king is chosen by God. So isn't that like what MAGA does with Trump? Like they think he's like chosen by God. He has the divine right. He can do no wrong. So as Trump failed, just mentioned, she's probably trying to keep in the good graces of MAGA by not criticizing the God King, but by making it seem like she's defending the God King rather than what he did.
All involvement in foreign wars and demanding the release of the Epstein files. Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president. Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative.
Maybe that's why God
America
needs to be
first
dead,
should
Dolly
mean
boy.
America first and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old.
Why does she say that word? I'm sorry, I know I keep pausing, but why does she say that word that way? Like, I can't repeat it, but do you hear how she said that word? I'm going to go back. Just listen to the she puts such weird emphasis on that syllable, okay? Weird emphasis on that syllable.
Conscience and represent our district's
Wait for
interests
it.
because our job title is literally representative. America first should mean America first and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first
Gotta love that. That is an anti-Israel statement. I appreciate that.
in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by
emphasis.
rich, powerful men should not result in me being called
Actually,
a traitor and
okay,
threatened
fair.
by the President of the United States,
Ooh,
whom
okay,
I
good,
fought
good, good.
for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with
Hurtful.
joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God who created everything in existence.
God, here comes the creeps.
You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits
She's gonna run for president. You can tell, right? She's doing the whole "I'm modest. I don't want power. I'm an innocent little dove." Like what? Okay.
and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career
SoCal,
or
right.
an assisted living facility. My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought
There's some turf ideology right there.
years of nonstop, never
A question: how many women in chat feel threatened by trans people? Like, they're like, do all the women out there are just like always afraid to death of like trans people? Because I've never met a woman who's afraid of a trans person. I know that the turfs think that way, but okay.
ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous
Right. We can, Leland, we can totally judge her for having up a Christmas tree so early.
slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day. It has been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family. But it's been wrong to my district
Right,
as
Ida?
well.
Like,
I have
Wait.
too much self-respect and dignity.
I mean, I know they
love
exist,
my
folks.
family way too much, and I do not want my
it's a dumb question. I know they exist, but like, anyway.
sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans
Right,
will
SoCal.
likely lose the midterms. And in
Yeah.
turn, be
I love that. Yes, please. That God, folks, things are looking up. I really got to tell you, things are looking up right now. Okay. I mean, as up as they can given the situation, but things are looking good.
expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never, ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well.
After this, we're going to check who donated to her campaign. I wonder, did she get donations from the military industrial complex and big pharma and stuff?
There is no plan to save the
SoCal.
world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected
I actually agree with her.
leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they, common Americans, the people,
Trump failed.
possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026. And I look forward
Yeah,
to seeing
SoCal.
many of you again sometime in the future. May God
it might
bless
be
you
Lee
all.
Lane. She might end up running for. She might run for governor. She might end up trying to run for president sometime in the future. I don't know, Lee Lane, but we'll see.
And may God bless America.
Okay, so there we go. Okay. God, it's been a weird few days. All right, with the Mamdani and Trump meeting, let's quickly see Open Secrets. Who donated to her campaign? Open Secrets. Marjorie. Oh, politicians. Let's see if we can. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to see like what were her big top industry. Retired. She got a lot from retired people, from retired companies or retirement companies. Education, insurance, oil and gas, real estate, health professionals. I don't actually see anything from the pharmaceutical industry. Which is probably why she was okay with speaking out against them. Automotive industry, securities. Okay, Wall Street. She did get. That is funny. She did get some donations from Wall Street. Let's see here. What sector totals? Defense Department. Okay. I'm just going to quickly see what the contributors were. They mainly big donors or small donors? We can guess, right? What is JZK Incorporated? What is JZK Incorporated? JZK Incorporated. Maybe Ida, very possibly. Okay, spatial and learning. What? What? What is this? JZK Incorporated operates academies of spiritual learning and development. This company specializes in teaching of the mind that offers retreats and workshops to people of all ages and cultures. What does that mean? What do they teach? This is her second biggest donor. What do they do? Website? Okay, let's go to website. Okay, Academy of the Mind. Ah, okay, it's like a Christian. Ramtha's prophecies? What the hell? The teachings of Ramtha. Okay, this is just weird shit. Aliens and UFOs? God, okay, what the hell? Yeah, this is some weird shit. Like real weird, like some culty ass shit. What is this? Introduction to RSE. I'm sorry, this is just too. I'm sorry. I'm in a spirit. I'm in a rabbit hole, guys. 1 second. Remembering who you really are. Let's see what this is. An introduction to RSE by Ramtha. Who the hell is Ramtha?
When you wake up is when you go, wait a minute. I am going to write down what I want to begin to happen to me that has never happened to me before. And I will focus on these just as a keen scientist who is observing this potential that I get to have.
What? This is all nonsense. What she's saying is meaningless.
And I will observe it and let my God take a very good look at it. And then I'll say, so be that. And then I accept the day that will be charmed with new people, places, things, times, and events that have never been before. And you will go, good God. And your God will say,
yeah,
yes.
Good God, Jesus.
I can't believe it's like magic. That's all it took.
I definitely can't believe it either.
And then tomorrow, You'll be so hyped, you'll do it tonight.
What
And then
tonight?
tomorrow morning.
What are we doing?
And as you get high and
Well, that actually might be happening. I might be getting high. Okay.
glorious in your excitement and in your joy, you're breaking through and experiencing the divine in you at work. Just get out of the way and let it happen. That's science, darling.
That's science. Okay, you know what? We're done with that. All right. We get the idea here. It's just like a cult or something. Okay. It's just like some sort of weird ass cult. All right. Well, that's great. That's the second biggest donor to Marjorie Taylor Greene is a weird cult. Okay, cool, fun. All right. Well, we figured we learned something new. We learned something new. We learned something new today. They need some Nietzsche in their life. Okay. That's science, darling. Okay. All right. That was interesting. Let's okay. God. Real fast. So interesting stuff going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know we're all very sad she'll no longer be in the spotlight for now. I suspect, as Lee Lane suggested and Trump failed suggested, she'll probably end up running for a higher office. Always end up running for a higher office. That's what I suspect will happen. But boy, has this week been weird, folks. It has been weird. Trump signed the document that would signed the bill that would allow the release of the Epstein files. I believe they have. Yeah, Ida. Okay. The Epstein files will be released. It has to be released within 30 days. So we'll be getting that by the end of December. Now, there might be some that aren't included in there because they opened up another investigation into the Democrats. So some of the documents, because of that investigation, maybe purposefully so, won't be released because of that investigation. But they will eventually be released, though, because, they'll probably draw out the investigation, though, so they don't have to release some of them. And it has to be in a searchable format. So we'll be able to do a live stream where we get to search some keywords like Donald Trump, Noam Chomsky, Jeffrey Epstein, whatever. Okay. So there's some weird crap going on there. I wanted to quickly.
Bro, I just paid my
folks. I showed you an ad that I really liked. Okay, an anti-Republican ad that I really liked. This is another one that I really liked. I really like showing. I don't know. They make me happy. Please bear with me. I like showing ads that make me happy because they're clever and very good at being anti-Republican. No one was missing you, Meowzord. No one was missing you. Okay, I'm just kidding, Meowzord. Love you. Glad you're here. Okay. So this is another ad that I really liked. Okay, this is an ad by a Democrat. Well, an independent Democrat. Okay, so let's watch this. Another great ad. I thought it was good. Okay.
Bro, I just paid my taxes. So expensive.
I know. Tell me about it.
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
I'm your Republican congressman. I'm fundraising for re-election and servicing my sugar daddy and lowering his taxes.
You said you're gonna lower our taxes, man.
Sorry, you didn't give me any money. Now, if you'll excuse me, Daddy paid for full service and I'm always a good boy for him.
New moves and new threats.
I'm sorry. I just thought I think that's a brilliant ad, don't we? I mean, it's gross, but very good ad. Okay. There's some really good ads out there, I thought. Here's another one. Okay. So I don't know. I like watching really good anti-Republican ads. And these were not done by the Democratic Party. They were done by independent organizations. Like left-wing organizations. So the Democratic Party, they wouldn't have done this good of an ad, but there are some liberal / left-wing part of thing that do good ads. Okay. That is what they do. They basically pleasure the donors if they get money from them. Right, Mithril. Okay, let's go to the next one here. This is another one. Now I got to find the correct spot for it in here because I could not find the original. But I was able to find the okay, here it is. We'll find it. So here we go. This one is creepy, just to warn you, just trigger warning. I mean, not really trigger warning, but just know that it's kind of
really. You should.
It might be kind of triggering. Here we go.
Good time today.
Yeah, me too. I really look.
What are you doing?
She's coming with us.
What are you talking about? Who are you?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're rounding up illegals.
She was born here. She's a citizen.
I don't care. She looks like one of them. But don't worry. When she's in prison in El Salvador, she'll have lots of company.
Here's what's happened, because it's happened before.
Ooh. There's that one. It also a very dark, but really good, I thought. Very good, right? I mean, also that's what's that is what's happening. That's not an exaggeration. There have been American citizens who have been deported to El Salvador. Yeah, it's very dark. Very dark. But like a very effective ad, wouldn't you say? Like not hiding anything at all. I mean, yeah. Okay, it literally is. Meowzord, I really like chocolate babka. Although, honestly, Meowzord, I prefer fruit babka. I prefer babka with fruit in it. The chocolate babka is very good. If there's enough chocolate in it, if it's layered enough, so there's a lot of good chocolate in it. Right. If there's too much bread, then the chocolate doesn't really need to be there. You see what I mean? Yeah, I'm okay with chocolate babka though, Meowzord. All right. Okay. So, right. Okay. So, hey, I'm okay with that too, SoCal. So that's another ad. Not as funny as the one before it, but very effective. We need some better ads in our lives, don't we? Some better ads. Okay, guys. So, all right. So we did that. We talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Folks, if we get one more super chat, I will put on the Jester makeup. If we get to 7, we'll play a game. If we get to 10, Jester After Dark, okay? I think there's only... Are you still the only one over there on... Oh, no. Meowzord's over there now. I think only Dolly Boy and Meowzord are the only 2 people on Twitch right now. Interesting. So we got... if you are on Twitch and you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. You can subscribe for free using Amazon Prime. Send me some of Jeff Bezos' money or subscribe regularly. Then you don't have to see ads. Also, if you're on YouTube, you can become a member for as little as 99 cents a month and get a cute little Jester hat and members only emojis that you can use in live chat when I go live. Okay. Oh my God, that's amazing. That would be really good babka, Meowzord. I rarely have babka. Okay, please do, Meowzord. Okay, I am. By the way, folks, I am going to be setting up a PO box. If anyone, you can send me crap, if you'd like to. I would love that. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you, Meowzord. Okay, guys, love chocolate babka. Okay, so it's rare that I have chocolate babka that I really like. Because a lot of times there's just not enough chocolate in it. It's just kind of like, well, what's the point of the chocolate? But if it has like a lot of chocolate in it, I love that crap. Okay. All right, you guys. So let's see. Is that Sam Cedarmat's song? I love it. Okay. Real fast here. What was I going to say now? Oh, let's quickly, what I'd like to do, I'm going to put my face back up here. Yeah, agreed, Meowzord. Let me just let's do some reactions, shall we? Some Discord reactions. I thought I saw a good video for us to watch on there. Oh, I'm sorry. The first thing I want to do is this. Let's talk about Ukraine. So, did everyone hear about what's going on with Ukraine, etc.? You all hear about that? The Trump administration is basically forcing basically just forcing Ukraine to, well, let me pull it up. Right. Okay, so this is sad news for the Ukrainian people. This is a very hard situation in many different ways. But so for Ukraine, okay. But this is very sad. Okay, well, so let's talk about this. So, basically, what has happened? Okay, when is this from? This is the 22nd. Okay, so President Donald Trump said Saturday his proposed peace deal is not his final offer to Ukraine, underscoring that his administration is pushing hard to end the war. The White House has given Kyiv a Thanksgiving deadline to accept the terms or risk losing U.S. support. He is saying, folks, that if they don't accept the terms, we will stop funding Ukraine. And with winter coming, Russia has destroyed a lot of Ukraine's energy infrastructure. And with winter coming, that'll be very hard for the Ukrainian people because they will be freezing and struggling to survive during the winter. And he even said that he literally said, folks, you're going to have a very cold winter if you don't accept this deal, which is monstrous to say. Okay. But European leaders are voicing concern over provisions that would require Ukraine to cede territory to Russia and limit the size of its military. Asked by reporters Saturday whether this was his last offer, Trump replied no. Okay. We'd like to get to peace, Trump said. One way or another, we'll get it ended. Trump's remarks came as the administration is sending top officials overseas to push for the proposal. So there is also plans for the U.S. delegation to hold a separate meeting with a Russia delegation. Okay. Forgive me. I'm trying to find this next part here. I wanted to read to you. Luckily, the Europeans are backing Ukraine. Yeah, Ida, but I'm afraid, Ida, I agree with you. I think that Trump knows that the plan is unlikely to work, but I would not be surprised if he just starts cutting off any support for Ukraine, and then it'll be reliant on the Europeans to continue the support for Ukraine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's shocking, right, Mithril? Like he's almost certainly going to sell out the Ukrainian people at some point. Very disappointing. Meowsword, I'm surprised the deal maker in chief hasn't told them to inject the piece directly into their bloodstream, right, Meowsword? Apparently, he's ended so many wars, apparently, folks. Yeah, no, you're right, Ida. You're right. You're right, Ida. Okay. And earlier this week, the House presented Kyiv with a 28-point peace plan, drew up in coordination with Moscow, by the way. With Moscow, not with Ukraine, with Moscow. He drew up a peace plan with Moscow without consulting Ukraine. All right. He says it's not the final deal, but Jesus Christ, so much for being an ally. And remember, in the Epstein files, now I'm not saying that this is related, but in the Epstein files, there were comments about Russia having dirt on Trump. Anyway, okay. But the Russia stuff is a hoax, of course. All right. So, okay. And he also gets all passive and like, what's the term? He gets passive and subby whenever he's around Putin. It's okay. And he loves praising Putin. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to what is in this peace plan? What is in the peace plan? Oh, goodness. So the plan would force Kyiv to give up additional territory in the east. Uh-oh.
The next.
Additional territory in the east, cap the size of its military, and agree it will never join NATO, among a number of other items that will be painful for the war-torn country to swallow. Even though the Trump administration plan calls for significant concessions from Ukraine, that one of the security guarantees that will be provided to Ukraine is modeled on the principles of Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty. Under the proposed plan, the U.S. and European allies would view an attack on Ukraine as an attack on the transatlantic community. Now, that is a good thing to add there, but they're still losing territory. And honestly, folks, I've said this before. I suspect. I'm very pro-Ukraine. I have a Ukrainian flag behind me. I suspect Ukraine will eventually lose some territory. I'm sorry. It's very sad for me to say that. It really is, because they're the victims. But Russia has taken quite some territory. They already lost in their original objective, which was to seize the whole country, essentially, to take Kyiv, which they were embarrassingly short of doing. Failed miserably due to a bunch of incompetence. Do we remember when Russia was marching to Kyiv? I'm warfare fascinates me, like not in like a pleasant way, but remember when their forces were driving down to Kyiv and in straight lines and got jammed on the road and then were just destroyed in mass because they were so incompetent. Like, where is it? Road Kiev. They did things like this. They formed a massive convoy on the road. Here it is, on the road to Kiev. Yeah, here it is. Here's an image, which just left open all of their tanks and resupply shit open to artillery fire, and they got jammed on the road. Um, and because they hadn't been changing out or rotating their tires because they had been in storage, there was rubber rot going on. So the tires would disintegrate if they went off the road. So they couldn't go off the road because then the tires would disintegrate and they'd get stuck off the road. So they lined up on the road and were just all destroyed. And they were very incompetent. Okay. And anyway, regardless, they failed miserably in what they wanted to accomplish. So now they're doing their best to take some of Ukraine in the east. And unfortunately, folks, I don't see how they're going to be pushed back. Militarily, I don't think it's possible. They are slowly gaining more territory, very, very slowly. We're talking they're losing thousands of soldiers to gain meters, essentially, kind of like the in the First World War. But Ukraine has not been able to significantly launch any sort of major offensive in a long time. The territory that Russia has taken, I fear, is basically secure for good. Even if they can't keep going on the offensive, they can definitely go on the defensive, and Ukraine has no capability to take back the territory they have unfortunately lost in the east. And the longer it takes, the more defenses the Russians will put up in the east. Ukraine does not have the manpower to do that, okay, to take back that territory. And I suspect that eventually one of two things is going to happen. One, Ukraine is going to have to give up that territory, or we're going to be locked in a North-South Korea type situation where there's a demilitarized zone. Yeah. Or some sort in eastern Ukraine, where there's sort of a frozen conflict there, which I also don't want. I mean, it doesn't look good. Okay. Now, so the question here is, and I don't know the answer to this, that from my perspective here, and there are people who still say that Ukraine can win, Russia's on its last legs. Guys, I've been hearing that. I've been hearing that since this war started. I've been hearing that almost every day. I've seen at least one person online say, don't worry, Russia's about to lose. Russia's about to lose. Russia's about to lose. They're not about to lose. Okay. We can, I mean, they've been saying these things for a long time. I always hear people saying that their economy is about to collapse. And I will say, guys, and I'm saying this as a historian, when it comes to war, especially, that is some of the most propagandized and hard to interpret information anywhere, because there is a fundamental interest in both sides lying about what's happening on the front, and both sides trying to keep their population encouraged to fight. So if you're losing, you're not going to say out loud that you're losing, or at least you're going to try very hard to not say it. Now, there are signs. You might start making comments like, "Oh, we're doing fine. We need more of this or more of that, though. Oh, this it might start to be hard here pretty soon." Like, if you think regular politics is politicized and full of propaganda, propaganda and stuff around war is like twice that, because it is fundamental to war to try and keep things hidden and secret. So it is almost never a good idea to just listen to what either side is saying, okay? You should really do your best to see what's happening on the ground at any given point, which is also hard. So if you're curious, folks, about why I think the way I do, there is a great website called the Institute for the Study of War. There are other websites like it, and what they do is they track movements on the ground. They track and verify claims made on social media and stuff from various combatants about the location of troops and what areas have been taken, what areas have not been taken. They count losses, so they actually do their own independent counting of claimed losses of troops, materiel, and tanks. They are an academic organization. They do this for every war, and you can go in, and they're one of the main sources I rely on is the Institute for the Study of War to see what is going on, actually, because you can't really trust either side. And I can promise you, for people who have seen videos on YouTube of like Russian forces getting destroyed and things like that, remember that Latin phrase I taught all of you, que bono, bono. Who benefits? Who benefits from showing you images of Ukraine being successful? Ukraine does. They're not going to show you the images of Ukraine losing soldiers or losing tanks or anything like that. Okay, it's the same thing with Russia. They're only going to show you positive things, which makes it really hard to determine. Okay, and also you often will hear people talk about how like I just did, but now what I just said was true about their incompetence in some ways. You could verify that, obviously. But we'll say like, well, Russia's forces, they're so backwards. They're wearing, they're using tanks and stuff from the Second World War and from the Cold War and crap like that. And that is partially true. Okay, I got to tell you, that is true. But if it's, people will say that like it shows that Russia can't win. So how is it hurt them? They're still taking territory, right? They're still taking territory. Ukraine has not been able to push them out. So it's sort of even irrelevant. By the way, for example, Russian artillery is less accurate than Ukrainian artillery. That's just a fact. They use a lot of old-fashioned artillery. Some of it is from World War II, literally. And Ukrainian artillery is more accurate. That being said, Russia has a lot more artillery. They have an artillery-based army. If you have 20 pieces of artillery firing at the same target that aren't accurate, eventually one of them is going to hit the target and destroy it. Ukraine might only need one artillery piece, but Russia can still accomplish the same thing. They just need to do it with 20 pieces. You see what I mean? And they have that amount. So even if their artillery, for example, is less efficient or out of date, they can still destroy their targets. It just might take a few more shots of artillery. You see what I mean? Same thing with tanks. Okay. It did. No, you're right, Ida. That territory has cost them a lot. And I suspect, Ida, they won't be able to continue their advance forever. But the issue here, Ida, is that they will not, Ukraine will not be able to take back the territory that Russia has already taken. Regardless if Russia is able to continue their assault, Ukraine has lost that territory. Because if Russia goes on the defenses, suddenly Ukraine will be the one suffering a lot of the losses, like a lot more losses. They don't have the manpower. And I feel terrible saying that. I want Ukraine to be free. They were attacked by their imperialist, monstrous neighbor. Also, I don't give a shit for the lefties out there that are like, well, NATO evil, NATO bad, NATO, this is just a war between Russia and the United States and Ukraine's a proxy. No, it's not. For the Ukrainian people, it's a war for Ukraine. And it's a very imperialist and colonial mindset to think, well, Ukraine is just a proxy. The Ukrainian people don't want to be being invaded. They are trying to protect their country and their sovereignty. Yes, for the United States, it might be a proxy war, but all people are humans. The Ukrainians are human beings. They deserve to have sovereignty. And yes, I admit it. I know I am pro sending weapons to Ukraine. It's not because I'm pro American imperialism or I like the idea of a proxy war between America and Russia. I just support the Ukrainians. Okay. And if my goals just happen to align with what the United States goal are for sending weapons, even if we don't have the same reason for it, I'm okay with it. Okay. If Europe, USA, India press China to sacrifice Russia, to destroy Russia, I see what you're saying. I don't see that happening. I just don't. And also, China is just too independent economically. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to pressure them to stop helping supply? They're just really powerful. It's just not. I just don't see it. Okay. Antifa, Trump's impeachment could turn the tides. How so? I'm honestly asking, how so? What do you mean by that, Dolly Boy? Hey, I know, Dolly Boy, right? How horrible. I am not saying I am support American imperialism. I'm okay with sending weapons because my goal is to protect the Ukrainian people. My goal is not to protect American empire, but I guess America's goals and mine just happen to line up in terms of, I mean, our method lines up. I know, right? Trump failed. Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, that's fair, Doug. But here's my question to you, Doug. So, why would there be a deal at this point that favors Ukraine? And I want a deal that favors Ukraine, but Russia has no need to have. They're never going to agree to a deal that favors Ukraine. They're winning. They are. You see what I mean? And so my question is, this is where I don't have the answer. And again, folks, this is where I don't have the answer. When should the war? I see what you're saying, Antifa. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like kind of what Ida was suggesting. I will say this though, for Ida and Doug, when Biden was around and we had all those very strong international relationships, was Ukraine winning the war then? Because Russia was still making progress even then. And Ukraine could not launch a beneficial counteroffensive to save their lives, even when Ukraine was getting all the support, all the best support we could manage from multiple different partners, from Europe, from America. Ukraine could still not push back the Russian advance on the Eastern Front. And since then, they have lost. They were not Antifa. They were not holding their own. I mean, if you want to say they're holding their own now, they are kind of. Russia has been massively slowed down in their push, but Russia was still gaining territory at a slower rate than they are now. But they weren't taking back any territory from Russia. But I again though, Doug, I don't have a monopoly on this. Just from my analysis of it, I don't see how Ukraine can gain back that territory. Very sadly. And by the way, I want to keep sending them as many weapons as we can for as long as we can. I think it should be up to them when they want to stop. Okay, if they ever want to stop. I don't think it's my business, so I will support them for whatever they want to do. I'm just saying from because I don't support imperial. Like if America was sending weapons, I probably shouldn't say this on YouTube. If America was sending weapons to another group of people who are currently being occupied by a dominant power, you see what I mean? In the Middle East right now, I would gladly send weapons to the group that is opposing the occupation, or to the people opposing the occupation to help resist it. Okay. Yeah, and that's the two, Dolly Boy. Ukraine is running out of soldiers. Okay. Ukraine is running out of soldiers. Okay. They're right now, the average age of Ukrainian soldiers is 40 or 45. Unfortunately, Ukraine doesn't have enough soldiers, and no one's going to send soldiers to aid Ukraine because that might result in a nuclear war if Poles are put on the ground. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm ranting now. Let me just show you all. So if you're interested, and you can go to this site here, Russia and Ukraine. Put sanctions on China, Ida. We wouldn't. Because we rely way too much on China to put sanctions on them. Like, we really rely on China. And if we did, it wouldn't hurt China very much. China is like very powerful. There's a lot of is that what you mean, Ida? China? Okay, so let me just show you all here. So if you want to see, like, if you go to their Russian campaign assessment, you can, if you go to the site, I'll put it in chat just for anyone who's interested in kind of keeping track of what's going on. They post it almost every other day. They post new updates. Oh gosh, where is it? Russian campaign offensive update. Okay, so if you can so they will do headlines for things that are happening. Yeah, and the Kremlin has this. Okay, I'm going to go back on here. So my question is, folks, so you can see here they show every day what territories are being gained and lost. Like, for example, here you can see these are recent. These are from November 20th. Russia has gained all this territory, all the dark red territory. And it's just a slow, grinding war of attrition where they're slowly taking territory. They're losing thousands of troops, though. Russia can't really sustain the attack, but Ukraine can't push them out. Okay. All right. So let's go to this one too. I just want to show. So if anyone's interested, I just put this website in here. Yeah, exactly, Matt. So I agree. China is so self-reliant. They don't give a shit. Like, if we put Like, it'll hurt us way more, and if anything, it'll encourage China to help Russia. Um, yeah, so again, more gains, etc. Now they're very slow gains, but they're gaining. Okay, guys. So unfortunately, Ukraine being put in a really shitty position by Trump. And Trump is a monster. I support Ukraine to the end. If they want to defy this, I don't blame them. It is unfair. My whole point is, folks, is I support Ukraine 100%. I don't, but I don't think, though. I think we need to be clear-eyed that you know yeah, about the reality on the ground. Okay. I don't want to lie about it to people. Okay, let me. Oops. What did I just do? Give me a second here. All right, let's back up over here. Boop. So, crap. So that's what's going on in Ukraine. Video capture. All right, guys, let me put my face back up here. So that's rather sad. Yeah, exactly, Matt. I agree. And it makes me sad to even say what I just said about Ukraine, because Putin's a monster, etc. Putin is a monster. But I am concerned about the military situation on the ground there. Okay, guys. What do we got here? Okay, so that is my thought there. And again, if you want more info on this, there's more I could say. I was going to talk a bit more about the military situation, but alas, that's not what we think here. We do not let Ukraine give up an inch. No, Ida, that's the thing, Ida. I agree with you in that I will support Ukraine until the last moment. Until they want to surrender, I will support them. Especially for Europeans, this is vitally important, Ida, because we all know Putin is a monster, and who knows what he'll end up doing to Norway or Finland or Sweden or the Baltic states. But I just got to be honest with you about the military situation, right? It doesn't look good for Ukraine. So I will not be the one that decides for Ukraine what's going to happen, and I will support them to the end, continuing supporting them. But I think it's unlikely. A lot of people are still saying that Ukraine needs to get back all of its territory. I don't see that happening. I just don't. So maybe I don't know. They can decide what to do. They can decide what to do. You know what I mean? All right. That's possible, Mithril. That is possible. After Putin snuffs it, that's very possible. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, I agree with you, Dolly Boy. And again, so Dolly Boy, says we are beyond the point of a possible return to status quo in any peace options. I agree, Dolly Boy. Now, again, though, right now Ukraine's demand are that they get back all their territory, and Russia leave their territory, including the Crimea and things like that. I want them to make whatever demands they want. They are the ones who are being attacked. But if and we should continue supporting them in whatever goal they want to achieve. But I just don't see how their goals are achievable. It is very unfortunate, Dolly Boy. Slava Ukraini. I'm very sad. Anyway, okay. So, all right, guys. All right, guys. So it's 3:21. Did we let's see here. We got 21. Okay. So that was I just wanted to quickly talk about Ukraine there. But again, folks, I do not have as I always say, I do not have a monopoly on truth. Look at you can look at what other folks are saying about this. There's some great creators on YouTube who talk about these things. Just be aware when you do watch these things, what perspective it's coming from. Like if you're going to watch a Ukrainian talk about these things versus a Russian talk about these things or things like that, or even like an American military advisor or whatever it may be, just be cautious. All right. Okay, guys. So let's do some Discord reaction, shall we? What do we got here? What do we got here? We'll do something about the bicameral mind soon. That looks super interesting to me. Wow, we got this one. Okay, that looks interesting. Give me a second. I'm just trying to find a good thing to watch. Okay, so maybe we'll watch this. We'll see if this is good. If not, it's okay. Hey, hello, Hayori. Hayori548, welcome. You're not the only person from the UK in here. We got several folks from the UK, so welcome, Hayori. We are welcome to the community here. Glad to have you. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, so what should we do, folks? What should we do? Where's my camera? Why did my camera go? Why did my camera go kaput? There it is. Boop. All right. So we all know. Quiet, Piggy. Antifa, how dare you? Okay. All right. So I don't know. Well, maybe we won't watch this. I don't know. How dare you? You're the piggy, Doug. Okay. You know how much I hate you, Doug, and all your disagreements with me. I am the cult leader, Doug. I am always right. How dare you question my authority? Okay. Hayori, we have no idea. This hasn't been happening until recently that the names that pop up for people's YouTube name, it's something with YouTube. All these numbers and crap have been popping up. We've just learned to ignore it at this point, okay? We've just learned to ignore it at this point, okay? We don't know what's going on. All right. So let's watch I don't know, maybe we should. I don't know if I want to watch this. What should we watch, folks? I'm doubting this now. I didn't see much else on there to react to. Let me see what else we got here. The Art of the Stupid. What is that? Oh, no. I just want something different. Forgive me, whoever's that was. Forgive me if I seems like I'm ignoring it. What do we got here? What do we got here? Oh, okay, Trump failed. I shall. I'm trying to find something like The Rise of Pseudo-Intellectualism. Ooh, that sounds fun.
On
Let's do
October
that one.
22nd.
Okay, this looks good. The Rise of Pseudo-Intellectualism. I think this is deeply relevant for our current times, okay? Deeply relevant. I have no idea what this is about. It might be horrible. We'll find out. I just kind of found it in my recommended list. We've talked before about how we're living in a post-truth era, how especially in the United States, there's a very strong historical and current streak of anti-intellectualism. And I'm sure we all know about the intellectual dark web, which are all those folks out there that are claiming to be intellectuals and crap, but then spewing nonsense, typically racist, hyper masculine nonsense or whatever. Okay, so let's see what this is about. I'm curious.
1971, at the Eindhoven University of Technology, two of the most influential thinkers of the 20th.
Oh yes, Foucault and Noam Chomsky. This was a really stupid debate. Okay, very stupid debate. I've seen this. It's really hard to debate with Foucault. It's very hard to debate with Foucault for a number of reasons. Yo, absolutely. You're right, Dolly Boy. Very much. Foucault, I'm not a big fan of Foucault. I just am not. There are some of the things he says are useful as a form of analysis. I'll do a presentation on sometime. I'll let you guys decide for yourselves. I just don't think a lot of his work is very useful. It's kind of states the obvious, in my opinion. But anyway, and so it's hard to debate with him because he basically says, well, there's that kind of intellectual happening with that new show about the U.S. Revolutionary War. Is that so? I need what show is this, Dolly Boy, that you're referring to? He basically his basic ideology is that his basic idea is that every ideology is made up and it's a system of power. And so you can't really say any one ideology is any better than any other because they're all systems of power. So, like, for example, fascism is a system of power. Liberalism is a system of power. Both of them oppress different groups of people. Not much of a, not, you know, they might be different, but they're not like they're both repressive systems of power. So, you know, nothing really matters. Okay. As a matter of fact, one of the first trolls I had on my stream, for the people who were here from the very first day I started doing this, was a postmodernist Foucaultian who just came in and just started insulting everything I was saying from a Foucaultian lens. It's just like, it's impossible to argue with because what is there to debate, right? Then how do we know if anything is good or bad if everything is the same? Anyway, okay. So, we'll see.
Century sat across each other to engage in civil debate in front of a live audience. Many topics were discussed, but the main argument centered around one question: is our sense of justice innate or learned? The listeners watched intently as Noah Chomsky and Michel Foucault defended their ideas, with Chomsky insisting that humanity's innate nature is to create and be free, and that society should be decentralized around this truth, while Foucault rejected the notion, arguing instead that justice is not born from nature, but from history and power structures. The two ended up finding some common middle ground in several moments of the debate, such as their critique of big institutions, but still firmly held their opinions without personally attacking one another. It was a rare moment where philosophical ideas were wrestled with publicly in real time, but this type of experience wasn't.
Yeah, but it was also kind of useless. Anyway, I don't want to get too much in the weeds about this academic argument. Regardless, you see Foucault basically saying, well, no, there is no, like, people aren't fundamental, like, any kind of justice or anything is all made up. It's all sort of historically dependent. Yeah, there's truth to that. Okay.
As rare as you might think.
Dolly
Though
boy,
the debate wasn't broadcast to the general public, it wasn't uncommon for intellectual.
Real fast, Ken, for those who have seen any of Ken Burns stuff, he's a good documentary filmmaker. However, he sometimes buys into some really not historically verifiable narratives. Like, I don't know, Dolly Boy, if you've ever seen his documentary on the Civil War, he kind of buys into the Southern narrative. He kind of like has this weird nostalgia for the South in it and stuff. Like, I'm not surprised he would kind of do that with the Civil War, with the American Revolution too. Because he's not a historian. Ken Burns is not a historian.
And exchange notions in order to try and progress society. Like the James Baldwin versus William Buckley racial debate in 1965.
Exactly,
or Susan Sontag's essays and lectures on photography and nuclear war in the 1980s. Are conversations like this still happening? And if so, where? And is the public intellectual as we know it slowly dying in the digital age? Or just evolving into something else entirely? Let's try to answer those questions in this video. I want to begin by saying that a big influence for this video was a Substack essay titled The Death of the Public Intellectual. I think the author makes some great points that I would have reiterated even if I hadn't read the piece, but there's also some things I don't necessarily agree with. So think of this video as a continuation and critique of that essay. Now, when I say public intellectual, I'm talking about the types of people who write.
Yeah, Matt Saigai. So this goes along with my idea. Matt Saigai says neither of the parties involved in debate really comes to the debate with the mind of changing their opponents. To me, Matt Saigai, debates are thank you, Trump failed, the lost cause. Thank you. I couldn't think of the thing of it. Okay. He also, by the way, I like Ken Burns. I feel like I'm bashing him. I do like him. He does some really good work. Like, they're really good documentaries. But he also just he includes some historians in there that I'm not a fan of, like Shelby Foote, who's like this guy who really likes the South and kind of has a romantic lost cause vision of them and stuff. But anyway, so don't watch his stuff. Okay. I agree, Matt Saigai. I think debates are typically for entertainment. I think you're right. They're not really for coming to any sort of informed conclusion.
Think and speak with intellectual depth in order to shape culture and plant fresh ideas into society. And in order to answer whether conversations like this are still happening, we first must examine the main mediums through which these discussions used to take place. It probably won't surprise you that there were two main forms of becoming what people would consider a public intellectual in the 60s, 70s, and 80s: written work or television. And both of these mediums required at least one of two things: high status or high achievement. If your written or verbal work wasn't already popularized, the chances of you being granted access to a stage that broadcasted to...
Especially recently, Hiyori, people will just go ad hominem and attack the individual across from them, which makes it which is an utterly academic exercise. Doesn't help anyone learn anything. It becomes a form of entertainment, for sure.
Potentially millions of people was very slim. The barriers to entry in order to be considered a public intellectual were quite high, and as a result, there weren't that many people we could consider to be extremely influential to our culture,
You're so
at least
right. Welcome,
intellectually. And though many who passed that barrier held some very...
Elliot, whenever you enter chat, you always have these lovely little nuggets you throw to us. I love it.
Controversial opinions, ones that you might even argue set us back instead of moved us forward, they were influential and educated nonetheless. Another barrier that simply couldn't be surmounted if you wanted to dramatically alter public thought was the huge investment of time to craft and refine your ideas. It's a point I touched upon briefly in my last video on literacy, but there were no shortcuts to developing a new line of thinking. You had to consume either lectures or books, which at the very least took days to fully digest, then translate those ideas into your own words and explain in detail what they got right or wrong and why your ideas might be stronger. Take the work of existentialist philosopher Jean.
And I do think, I know I keep saying debates can be entertainment. I do think there's some use in debates, like for people who do not, who don't read a lot, or, maybe aren't as familiar with the arguments. It can be a good sort of condensed way of getting two different arguments on something, but only if it's done correctly. And it can also reveal where where a person doesn't have a defense for themselves. But at least modern day, I think most debates are so commodified. Are so commodified and so unable to be separated from entertainment. It's really hard to get a good one.
Paul Sartre, for example. Many consider his book, Being in Nothingness, to be a must-read when first learning existentialism.
You're right, Ida.
Being in Nothingness is a dense, 800-page behemoth that took Sartre 2 years of concentrated work to finish, that challenges our notions of God and destiny, arguing that it is up to the individual to create their own meaning. He certainly got lucky in the sense that it was the best time to write about it, given that the Nazis were occupying France and people were losing hope in the idea of a god, but he also wrote plays like No Exit, novels like Nausea, and essays alongside his philosophy, making him one of the most influential thinkers in Paris. This established a sense of authority behind Sartre, and therefore he could frequently be seen hanging with other intellectual elites like Albert Camus and Simone Beauvoir. All of this is to say, you had to earn your right to make a cultural impact through potentially years of arduous academic work. That was the price tag to becoming a cultural vanguard. Now let's contrast that with today. The influence of many public intellectuals has shifted from one of depth to breadth. There's absolutely no shortage of great thinkers out there, but how those thinkers are required to present their ideas has experienced a pretty dramatic change. Maybe you've been trying to tackle your own problems, like the type of career path you want to go down through journaling or some other slow form of thinking, but you need some extra guidance. If you're struggling to find a course of action that helps you create meaning and find that career for your life, then to get guiding you through a series of plans. If you can't stay motivated, you can...
Here we go. All right.
Now, here's what the author of that Substack essay goes on to say. They argue that the people who do shape culture in the present day are not intellectuals, but instead influencers, using Susan Sontag's...
Yeah, that's kind of true. That's kind of true, folks. Heck, folks, like even in my case, right? Am I really an intellectual? No, right? I kind of, okay, I know a lot of stuff, right? I've had a lot of education, but a lot of the stuff I share with you, except for some of the political stuff, which is my own opinion, is stuff that other people came up with, right? I mean, like I'm kind of just putting out there what is Dolly Boy, right? Like what other academics and stuff has established. I kind of give my 2 cents here or there. Like a lot of folks are like that, right? It's I mean I've always viewed myself more as like a communicator or like an educator. I educate. I'm not the actual intellectual, if that makes sense. But okay. But there are a lot of people out there who do pretend to be like intellectuals when they're not. They're they themselves are not the intellectual, right? Yeah.
Sontag and Hailey Bieber as an example. Writer Susan Sontag was considered a public intellectualist with mass appeal that people look to.
I think by Hiyori they mean that, yes, that people that influence others without being like a deep thinker on that topic or like an expert on that topic. I'm not quite sure. I guess we'll find out. I know I keep pausing it.
Get their ideas challenged in the 70s and 80s. And now, the people that would be looking for her are instead just letting someone like Hailey Bieber influence them purely through aesthetics. As the author puts it, we no longer look to those who challenge us intellectually, we look to those who offer us a perfectly packaged lifestyle. I'm not sure I'd really agree with this. I'd argue that by the time Susan Sontag was popular, like the 70s or 80s, the average populace was not seeking someone to challenge them intellectually. I don't think a person like Susan Sontag was the biggest influence on culture. Instead, I think it was, like today, celebrities, or what they're referred to now most likely as influencers. But instead of them being presented through social media back then, it was more so through TV, magazines, and movies. The people most susceptible to seeking out influence from traditional public intellectuals like Sontag are still making an effort to find those people. I truly believe that. The only difference now is, like I said before, that these types of intellectuals are forced to create for a much wider general audience, making their ideas heard more, but not necessarily felt more. I'll explain this further in a moment. And as for the general...
Real fast, I think I told you all about the idea of deep literacy. We're having sort of a disaster, especially in the United States, a lot of places of the world, of people lacking deep literacy. So deep literacy is the ability to, like, for example, read a whole book, get a whole argument or a whole theory from start to finish with a lot of nuance and things like that, and be able to understand the whole thing in its entirety, nuance and everything. Because people are now used to social media, which are very short little tidbits, or even some YouTube videos, not all of them, there are some long form ones that are basically about quick little blurbs and things like that. People do not have deep literacy anymore. There's actually been studies on it. We have shorter attention spans. Deep literacy is like rock bottom. Like it has really killed the deep literacy. And so even like the intellectuals have to basically shorten down their content because it's rare. I know some of you will because you're all a bunch of nerds. I know some of you would watch like a 2-hour lecture, but a lot of people would not. Or read the book, okay, or read a book about something, like a full book, rather than just like, a summary. It's causing a lot of issues.
Populace who would have never sought out advice from public intellectuals like Sontag, their ability to comprehend something of the past with that kind of depth might be diminishing, as we now see with the decline in literacy rates. The digital landscape we now live in incentivizes a distinct type of public intellectual, one that, in order to thrive, must grab the attention of as many...
Did you see the jester? Did you see the jester? Look, there was a jester. It was the jester.
The digital landscape we now live in incentivizes a distinct type of public intellectual, one that, in order to thrive, must grab the attention of as many eyeballs as possible. And there's no better way to do that in social media algorithms designed to exploit human psychology than to provoke. Perhaps one of the best examples of this shift in behavior of public intellectuals is Jordan Peterson. Peterson's
God, please, I don't want to hear his voice. Do we have to hear
lectures when he was a professor in college, which you can easily find on YouTube, represent someone with a deep understanding.
Hiyori, I mean this when I say it. Hiyori says, I'm quite young, so I'm kind of guilty of this, but I've been changing. Hiyori, I was a teacher, right, before I started doing this, so I raised people your age. Or I taught people of your age. It's really not your fault, Hiyori. Like, the environment you have been grown up in is surrounded by this stuff, right? And of course you could make an effort, but there's all these incentives set up to make it harder for you to actually get into, like, deep literacy, okay? So maybe we need to partially restructure information in our society so that you're, anyway, it's easier for younger people to do this stuff. And by the way, older folks now are doing it too. Yeah, it's like an addiction. It's like that dopamine hit. You're right, Dolly Boy. Like I am that way now too, Hayori. I read books still, but I watch a lot of short form stuff. It's addicting. Okay. I wouldn't say you're guilty of it, Hiyori. I would just say you're one of many people of millions of people who has been drawn into the system the way what it was meant to do, which is to draw you in and things like that. Okay, and I'm guilty of it too.
Of psychology and philosophy. He would present ideas from intellectuals of the past in a way that was extremely relevant to our time, which made those videos resonate with a lot of young people, especially young men. But Peterson's real rise to fame was when he stepped outside of the bounds of his practice and debated college students on transgenderism. Peterson was then incentivized to continue going down this sort of path, and when you compare his earlier lectures to how he presents himself today, the content usually leans more towards emotional rather than logical.
I just feel like you kind of...
And what is that? What is that? When we talk about fascism and things like that, also like a post-truth error, like die Welt ist meine Vorstellung, your emotions matter more than your rationality. Now, I haven't talked about this on stream, but that's one of my theories, okay? So I guess I am a public intellectual, is that these dopamine cycles and all this content online has made us more emotional based off emotion, and has made it easier for us to discard logic because we're surrounded by the emotional baiting all the time, right? With these videos. Okay.
retreat in
which has led to fascism.
This semantic
make it easier, I should say.
Fog.
I'm not retreating at all. I'm advancing, sir. You are retreating. How do you define the God that you're rejecting?
How do you define worship?
To define God.
Define God.
Define it.
Define it.
We define
that.
We define something. We define worship. Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
I can't even fully blame Peterson, nor do I think that everything he talks about in the present is pure nonsense. But now he might be realizing.
By the way, folks, for those who are mentioning, I know I thought I saw a couple people. So deep literacy is not like a longer piece that has segments in it, if that makes sense. It's where there's one sort of main argument that is nuanced and complex and comes to a conclusion. So like I don't know, reading a book about theory, like about one particular theory with tons of nuance that builds up to like one giant theory, but like something that's serialized is not deep literacy, if that makes sense. Like a TV show, for example, is not a serialized TV show. It does not count as deep literacy, if that makes sense. Or like a news broadcast, for example. Like if you're watching a news broadcast that has segments, like different stories in it, that is also not deep literacy. It's hard to. Yeah. Anyway, it just but yeah, I don't know. I thought I saw someone. Well, who was it? Someone mentioned supernatural. I'm not trying to dismiss whoever said that. I'm just saying because I don't think I was clear. I don't think I clarified
that having your ideas be heard is less about the depth and impact of your words and more about the intensity behind them.
Right, Doug.
Social media algorithms reward extremist emotional behavior, causing a positive reinforcement loop between the creator and the platform. The creator finds that, to a certain point, the more clickbait and fiery words they use, the more people they will reach, which arguably has become the primary motivator for many current public intellectuals. As a result, what we're now seeing is intellectualism being stripped down into a series of self-affirming echo chambers that rarely invite nuance into the discussion. The people now placed on an intellectual pedestal are the ones taking advantage of the nature of short-form platforms. That nature being quick, easily digestible bites of information that lacks the full context of a broader conversation. In the same way that junk food feeds you without nurturing you, these clips give you the feeling that you're engaging with intellectually stimulating thought. But most of
By the way, real fast, guys, I'm sorry. I knew what you meant, Doug, but I knew exactly. I don't know why I didn't notice that, Doug, but I knew what you meant. So one thing here, I think this is partially why people have a hell of a time making connections these days, right? We are fed little pieces of information, and that people are so much more what's the term? What's the word I'm looking for? Are so much more hypocritical, right? They will oftentimes state different things that may imply that they believe two things that are opposite of each other because they never make any connections between different pieces of information. Because we're always given little pieces of information without putting anything together. So it's perfectly easy for someone to believe two things that are the opposite of each other without ever noticing that they have a contradiction in their head. And it drives me insane. It drives me insane.
the time, they are just feeding your confidence.
Oh, I'm sorry, Trump failed. Okay, it went by fast, so I wasn't sure. That's fair, Trump failed. You meant attention span. Okay, that's good. Well, I'm glad you have attention span.
confirmation bias and hindering your ability to take in multiple different perspectives. Now, to defend our points in an argument, whether online or in real life, we're referencing some 30-second clip of a thinker or debater, ignoring any other context.
Oh, totally, Hiyori, totally. And I love that, Hiyori. Peterson likes to, instead of educating or being respectful, he just shouts in your face and says a lot of words. Yeah, exactly. He LARPs, Hiyori. He LARPs as an intellectual. He uses a bunch of big words and he talks in a condescending way that makes you feel like you don't know, like that you don't know what he knows, but he doesn't say much. He has some things that he said that are interesting, but not very few and far between, and definitely not unique, and most of it's nonsense. Exactly, Meowzord. Priority goes to the best argument for the moment and not consistency in values. 100% Meowzord. Materialistic, right? Okay. Okay. I don't know. I'm afraid of the conservative mob. Why? I have only really said hi to my neighbor. Hey, I don't blame you there, Doug. Yeah, totally, Meowzord. Yeah, oh my God, I know, Dolly. Yeah, I love all your takes on Peterson. I cannot stand him. I used to get ads. You remember when I used to get ads of his on my stream? Whenever I see his face, it makes me cringe. I'm also sick of his voice.
And potentially skewing the true intention of the creator's words. It astounds me how many more views these YouTube shorts have with clips of Charlie Kirk debates that use disgusting AI and clickbait to drive engagement, rather than the full debates themselves. And I know someone's going to distort my words here and act like I'm a Charlie Kirk supporter, and I loved everything he said when that's obviously not the case. But really, after thinking about it, it doesn't surprise me at all, because this is what our current system incentivizes: exploiting human psychology rather than using it to enrich others. What this creates is a culture whose foundations of intellect are built upon performance rather than pursuit of truth.
Guys, remember we talked about cultural materialism. Our culture and our way of thinking and looking at the world comes out of our economic system and our power structure. Capitalism incentivizes manipulating people for gain, does it not? Because that's how you profit. And so we now have a culture that uses psychology to control people, make them believe things for the sake of getting clicks and views for money and things like that. All this stuff can be linked back to cultural materialism, okay?
And we've felt this shift reverberate through our intellectual spaces. Our politicians place more emphasis on presentation rather than enabling any sort of real change. Our education system often focuses more on optics and less on the quality of the education itself, which devalues degrees. And with such a large quantity of influences, thanks to social media and the internet, people have become increasingly confused about who is most trustworthy, who is actually worth listening to, and whose credentials are most valid. So to answer our questions from the beginning, yes, conversations like lectures and debates from the 60s or 70s are still happening, but they're happening through a medium which incentivizes rage and division over deep thought. And as a result, many current public intellectuals who probably would have developed into what we would have considered a traditional public intellectual evolved to comply with this change. Does that mean traditional
I wish I was a public intellectual, and I would be like a public intellectual that dresses like a jester. Oh my God, I would love that so much. Oh my Jesus. Stay in school, kids. I should have finished that PhD, etc. I might go back at some time, but anyway.
Public intellectuals are completely dead? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's the case at all. But their voices might be harder to hear over the convoluted babble of the internet, where so much of our attention is now placed. With that being said, what can we do? Or what can you do as an individual? I always like proposing solutions, even though I am, ironically, guilty of many of the things I just criticized in this video. That doesn't go past me. I think the root of the problem is not so much in the messages currently being pushed to us, but rather the medium of those messages, that being social media, because of what it incentivizes. In order to break this trend, the average populace would need to be incentivized to go elsewhere other than social media, but it is so addictive and rewarding that I don't see that happening anytime soon, unless there's
and it is made to be addictive, okay?
An even greater reward for not being on it, which there currently isn't. But that doesn't mean you have to be this way, and that doesn't mean that there isn't any sort of positive change happening.
Yuri, and I will say, I think he's exaggerating a bit, because like everyone here probably knows Mehdi Hassan or Norman Finkelstein. You know, a lot of us do. A lot of us here, at least, do watch some pretty brilliant public intellectuals. Okay. Were people much better off when they didn't know much because of the internet? Yeah, right. Well, Ida, Ida, I partially agree with you. I think it's a mixed bag. The internet has been both good and bad. Okay, it's been good in that it's allowed people to get more information where before it was more difficult to get information. It also allows them to get information by going around power structures that would normally block access to information and or conceal certain kinds of information or create narratives, right? But it's also bad because it is people have more freedom to go out and get information, and you can't always be certain the information you're getting is good. And it allows people to be more easily manipulated in some ways because you don't know the source of that information. So I'd say it's a mixed bag. I think the internet has been good and bad, right? Like, for example, I probably wouldn't be a leftist if the internet hadn't existed. Lots of us probably wouldn't have been leftists if the internet hadn't existed, because that gave us access to another way of thinking that we did not have prior, right? You're right, Ida. You're totally right. Okay. That we may not have had prior because that information was closed off to us. Yeah, please do send it off. Trump failed. But at the same time, there might be some people that are MAGA right now that wouldn't have been MAGA if the internet hadn't existed. You see what I mean? It could go both ways.
On social media right now, I've started to see public debate in long formats being revitalized on certain podcasts, which is a great sign. And of course, there's an abundance of knowledge you can access for free thanks to the internet. We have never had so many great sources of wisdom.
Exactly, Hiori, and that's what I meant, Hiori, because no one would know about what's happening, the genocide in Palestine, right? Because all that information before now was being censored by power structures. So the internet, again, allows you to circumvent power structures, which is what we saw happen this time around. I've never seen so much outrage towards Israel in my life. So again, it can be good and bad. Or like even the Arab Spring that was largely led by the internet, by social media and things like that.
In almost no time at all, and all of the classic works published by traditional public intellectuals can likely be found online for free.
Speaking
with
of
a little bit of
Palestine,
digging.
I forgot to put
It
this
just
on
requires
today.
an enormous amount of willpower to resist the internet slop that beckons at you every time you open your phone or computer. The inevitable consequence of the democratization of information and knowledge is that there is now a slew of junk knowledge and
Admittedly, I learned about it too from grad school, but I think, yeah. So maybe I didn't learn about it from the internet, but still, anyway.
vapid information. So what I think will happen for the foreseeable future is exactly the type of inequality being exhibited with the increasing wealth gap and literacy gap in America. The people that do put in the extra effort to seek and comprehend difficult, culturally impactful texts will become smarter than ever, while the people who don't search for intellectually challenging information and never would have, even in a different era, will, for lack of a better word, get dumber than ever. Choose to climb towards the former and influence others to do the same in any way you can by sharing long-form content, podcast debates, or culturally impactful books, and bring up these ideas in discussion amongst friends. And if you don't have any friends willing to talk about this kind of stuff, you got to put in the effort to find those
I got
friends,
all of you. You're all
whether
my
in online
friends.
spaces
That's
or in
not
real life. I
parasocial at all.
promise you they exist, and there are some people like that in my free Discord community. I
Okay.
don't know. That might be a
That's
good first
super
place to
interesting.
start, and I'm going to link it in the
Yeah, that was a good find. That was a good find. Okay. Yeah. That was a good find. I like that. Very true. Okay. Para who don't know her. Okay. Um, all right. I will say so. Doug made an interesting point here. Doug said, I know I already mentioned it. I was or Antifa U for those who don't know who Doug is. I was a leftist before I knew what it was. I took the teachings of Christ to heart. Yeah, Doug. Like I was raised as a Catholic, and a lot of even though I'm an atheist now, a lot of Jesus's ideas I still believe in. I never stopped believing in them, right? And they kind of form the base because remember we talked about Nietzsche and like the need to reevaluate your values, and discard ones you don't think are necessary anymore. Keep ones you think that can be justified from a different aspect. And I think a lot of the teachings of Jesus can be justified or are good fundamentally, regardless of where they came from. So I would agree with you partially, Doug, that part of my leftism does come from there too. I got to be honest. Okay, guys. All right. What that was a good one. Let me quickly check here. Let's watch one more real fast. Trump failed. Andrew Wilson gets humbled by a young woman. Is this the one where he can't open the bottle?
Charlie, I just think honestly you're too.
Okay, let's watch this. I like watching this guy struggle. I watch. Oh, hey, you didn't need to bribe me, Trump failed, but thank you. I accept. I accept your bribe. Okay, I accept it. Okay, folks, one more. Put on the jester hat. Thank you. Or put on the jester makeup. Although, okay, this was tragic. Okay, hilarious. Yeah, no, I know. That's why I'm selective, Doug. I'm selective. You have to hate everyone, including yourself, to be his disciple. You're right, Doug. But like, they're like some of those ideas he had. That's why I'm like, I don't think he's special at all. I think he had some good ideas, but he also said turn the other cheek when someone slaps you. I'm not a big fan of that either, to be honest with you. All right. Oh, I know, right? God, AI is so bad, Ida. God, we got a lot of good comments here. Channel 4 and I'll put on the face makeup here. Channel 4. Oh my God, you guys, you're overwhelming me with these. Okay, fine. You win. We'll do a time guesser. I'll stay on a little bit longer because I just got all these. Can I oh my God, guys, you're amazing. Okay. Can I make an agreement with you? I will stay on for an extra bit of time if I don't have to put on the makeup, because I will have to clean it off and we don't have that much time. So we can do like a GeoGuessr together. But we'll also watch this. Don't worry. We'll watch this. Okay. Is that okay? I'll stay on for a bit longer. We'll watch this. We'll do a GeoGuessr thing. Is that okay? Is that okay? Exchange if I don't put on the makeup? Because it won't be on terribly long before I'm off. So let's start with this. And
Stupid to understand them.
Your wife has 3
Charlie, I just think honestly you're too stupid to understand them.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your mouth. It's because I'm better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit because you are not a traditional man.
Chuck.
The first sign of an insecure man is the lack of emotional control. This is actual footage of a grown man with the maturity level of a 6th grader crumbling. She hit the right button. He fell for it. You go, girl.
I'm sorry.
No, it's because you're
because I'm better than you. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Charlie, I just think honestly you're too stupid to understand them.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
lick
sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
Oh my God.
You're a fucking. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your mouth. It's because I'm better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit because you are not a traditional man.
Chuck.
The first sign of an insecure man is the lack of emotional control. This is actual footage of a grown man with the maturity level of a 6th grader crumbling. She hit the right button. He fell for it. You go, girl.
Oh my God. That was brilliant. Probably failing, Ida. Probably failing. That is hilarious. She's brilliant. I like how calm she remained too, and he just flipped out.
Charlie,
I
just think
it's also the case that so many of these Christian conservative folks have like some of the. It comes out that they have a bunch of dark things in their past, or like, okay, yeah, I'm better than you, right? Such a cope thing to say. He's red pill, but has a wife who has 3 kids from other men, which is a no-no. They call the wife on stream and then try to team up on her. Hilarious, Malzord. Okay. Okay. Global, it is not about a man protecting his wife. Are you kidding me? It is about her trying to make a point, because think about that. He's a red pillar. He thinks women are inferior and crap. He has all these views about judging other people for their lifestyles, judging gay people, trans people, things like that for how they live. And so as soon as this other person points out that his wife has lived what he would view as a non-traditional lifestyle, he flips out. he's a weak little baby. Let's put it that way. It's not defending his wife. She's stating a fact, and he can't handle the fire that he sends towards other people. Okay. I love it. I love it to death. Okay. I love it to death. And if he, if he can't take the heat, he should stop giving out the heat. Okay. In my opinion. Okay. Maybe, Ida, maybe. Okay. All right. And also, I'd like to point out, think about that, folks. I doubt if anyone in here, I can almost guarantee you that almost anyone in here, if I were to say to you, this woman has had 2 husbands and like 3 kids from other men, the vast majority of you wouldn't view that as a negative thing at all. You would just view it as information, right? Like, obviously, unless I was saying it in a negative context, which would probably annoy you. Like, who cares? Like, so this person has 3 kids, has 2 husbands and stuff. That would be just a statement. That would just be a statement of fact, right? If there was a person who had those things. Do you notice how upset it makes him that she stated that reality? Like, for us, that's just like, yeah, so what? That people have different lives, people have different life experiences. But for him, you can tell that he is judgmental. He's the one who's judgmental of his wife, right? Because just by hearing that the reality, he flips the hell out. Like, if it didn't matter, if he didn't think it was that big of a deal, he might be like, hey, let's not talk about my wife. Yeah, that's true, but like, who cares? Like, but no, he has to flip out and get offended. Okay. 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 So, right? Like, would any of you be like, anyway, okay. It's just my thought on the matter. All right. Andrew plays a character and his personality does not come from himself, but traditions. I don't think Andrew is playing this guy right here. No, I don't think he's playing a character, Global. I'm almost certain that is who he is. Okay. He's kind of a weak man who breaks down at the slightest suggestion. Yeah, exactly. No one would care. No one would care, right? He already, like, if someone said, oh, he had 2 wives, no one would care. Even if they said, like, for most of us, now there would be some people who would care, but even if some of us were to hear, like, oh, she had 2 husbands, no one here would be like, whoa! It would just be like, okay, that people are like that. Now, I know some people would get upset about that crap, but we're like, but he gets mad because he does look down on people like that. Okay. She verbally, a top comment from the actual, yeah, oh, that's good, Meowsword. She verbally opened the pickle jar in front of him, right? That's so true, Meowsword. Okay, all right. Shall we play GeoGuessr? Let's play GeoGuessr. That's possible, Global. That is very possible. That might be possible, Global. Honestly, it might be, but I suspect just from how emotional he is, he does seem to get really triggered. Like oh yeah, Trump failed. You agree? Okay. He does seem to get very emotional, very emotional. And I'm saying that as a teacher. Like, I don't know how that would convince anyone, but like, you can tell when someone is actually upset versus when they're kind of putting on a show. Teens love doing this. Okay, so we'll do the GeoGuessr now. Meowsword, do you GeoGuessr? Are we going to do GeoGuessr or that one we did last time? I know there's a different one, GeoGuessr. There's one that's free, Open Guesser. We'll do the Open Guesser. So, Hiyori, Open Guesser. Oh God, this is not going to work. This is going to be difficult. I can tell already because it looks like I always hate the ones that are in America because I struggle. So, Hiyori, GeoGuessr is where you get randomly placed somewhere on the planet, randomly guessed. Yeah. Exactly, Meowsword, exactly. Okay, when you can't admit defeat, it bottles up, you crash out. If you're a normal person and you occasionally yield, you seem like a normal person. Totally, right? Totally. How dare you, Doug? I am not going to name every country in the world because I failed to do that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Ida. Okay. Okay. How dare you, Doug? I almost got it, Doug. I almost named every country. I almost did. I mean, I missed an entire segment, but hey, you know, whatever. I got close. Okay. Uh, all right. So this is what we do. We dropped somewhere in the planet. We're dropped somewhere in the planet. And then we have to guess as close as possible to where we actually are. Now, I am going to, and you can move around, you can go up and down the street. I am going to guess. Is there a way to like invite? I wonder if there's a way to invite people. Is there a way? I'm just curious. Competitions, multiplayer. Ooh, we could actually do multiplayer at some point. That'd be kind of fun. I would have to figure out how to do it, but that would kind of be fun. That's fair, Doug. But I'm still embarrassed by. I'm like a perfectionist when it comes to these things. Hey Yori, I totally got you. Okay, it typically will be somewhere in the world. Hey Yori, so there might be some in the UK. We just happen to land in America because America's exceptional, right? And we always. Anyway, I'm joking, but okay, this does look like this is very flat. It might be Texas. You're right. So Cal, it looks kind of arid. Mandalay. All right, let's go up and down. I'm going to go this way a bit. Give me a second, folks. What's this road? Shut down, southbound Mandal something. Let's go down the road a bit. It looks kind of arid. The what is that? Corn. It looks too flat to be the Midwest, to be honest with you. A lot of the Midwest is hilly. Oh, palm trees. We got palm trees. Palm trees. All right. Bye-bye, Ida. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, we got palm trees. So maybe SoCal's right. It might be Texas. So just for the, let's just guess so we don't get stuck. You're gonna guess California. Actually, it could be California. Oh, all right. Plate colors. They typically are hidden, but let's see if we can find a car plate here. I'll go right here, or a flag of some sort. Oh, what about this truck right here? Damn it, that doesn't help much, does it? Come on, don't these people have any state pride? Doesn't these people have any state pride? Yeah, let's try. I agree. Let's do boat. There's a boat. Oh my God, there is a boat. But that could still be Texas. Okay. Let's try this. Let's try like maybe it is California. Let's just try down here. Maybe or right on the edge here. Let's try like right here. Let's just see how close we are. Hey, oh my God, really? That's Louisiana? That's Louisiana, goddamn Anna. Okay. Oh, Mandalay. Okay. Yeah. The correct answer was Louisiana, but hey, we weren't that far. We were kind of far. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. It looked too. What is that music? Does anyone hear? Is this just like creepy music playing? It's very relaxing music. Oh, this is kind of cute. This is kind of cute, guys. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's kind of cute. We'll keep it. We'll keep it. Oh, it's the game. The game has music. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, don't you all feel relaxed now? Oh, this is lovely. Okay. Let's see here. It's in your head. They're coming to get you. I believe it. They are. Okay. Europe. Yeah, definitely probably is. Yeah, it looks kind of European. Well, I don't know. Tropical. You know what? It is Europe. You're right. It says Piazza. So this is probably, this is almost certainly Italy. Del Corso. Okay. I think that's Italy. Yeah. Look at all these cute little cars. This is definitely Europe. Let's just see where. Carpe Diem. Oh my God, it's so Europe. This is the most Italian place. Ooh, that's pretty. Do we think is it Spain? I mean, that's Italian, am I right? I guess Del could be. Okay, European. Oh, great. That's helpful. European Union. We need more specificity than that. Italy. Yeah, that's definitely the Italian flag. Okay. So we're in Italy. Where in Italy, though? Piazza del something. Where in Italy? This is a cute little town. I kind of want to visit. This music is nice, too. This is cute, guys. This is cute. I'm enjoying my time with all of you. Lovely day. Really lovely day. Okay, Piazza del Popolo. You think Sicily? We think Sicily? It could be Sicily. I wish there was like a sign or something. Oh my God, a pasteria. Oh my God, guys, I want pastries and gelato. Jesus. Okay, after hour bar in English. I just need some sort of sign of where it is in Italy, because like it could be anywhere in Italy. Via Roma. Okay, Rome Road, but I don't think it is Rome. Can we like get a vista or something so we can see around? We're on Rome Road. Okay, do we have a vista? Okay, kind of a dry. That could be anywhere in Italy. You know what? I think it is probably Sicily. I think it is probably Sicily. Look at this guy. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Look at all that dry, arid. You can just imagine a Roman army marching by or whatever. Okay. It could be Spain, I think, but it looks to me like Italian. Yeah, Via Roma. Oh, wait, here's a sign. Am I right that this is Italian? Avolia. This does not help me at all. This does not. I don't know what the hell these places are. Okay. Let's try. Let's take Sicily out if there's a road to Rome. Oh, that's true. Let's go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go down here. Okay. Yeah, let's try. Thank you, Trump failed. Okay, I can do that. I could do that. So let's do southern Italy here. I suspect. Let me just look around here a little bit. Otsuna. Let's try Pazione di Grezzo. Okay, let's try right here, right in the middle of the boot down here, just for fun. Let's just try right here. Let's try right there. Oh my God, it was Sicily. Who said Sicily? Who do I need to apologize to for not doing Sicily? Who said Sicily? Who was the smart person who said Sicily? Sorry, Drum failed. Thank you for whoever mentioned Sicily, and then I betrayed your trust. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good. We got close, though. Great, Doug. See, this is why I should listen to you more, Doug, okay? But I refuse. I refuse, Doug, okay? You already introduced me to Ren. I don't want to listen to anything else you have to say. Okay, all right. Okay, we got another one here. Jalan. Oh, people wearing some clothing. Jalan Kaka? Jalan Kaka. All right, these are some, I'm guessing somewhere in Asia here. Okay, I'm guessing somewhere in Asia here. I'm not quite sure. I know that doesn't help much when I say, I don't think it's Japan. I don't think it is Japan, Matt Saigai. But it might be, but let me see. I mean, these houses do kind of, I see what you mean though, Matt Saigai. But look at this up here. That looks almost like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, agreed. It's giving sort of South Asia vibes. Yeah, you know what? This might be, look, this woman here is wearing a scarf here. Is that an American flag? What is that? America. Look at that. Oh, no, that's the flag of, oh God, what country? What country? With the, it has the, is it Indonesia? Malaysia. Thank you. It's probably Malaysia. It's Malaysia. Because I think that's the Malaysian flag, is it not? With the those colors. Am I right that that's the Malaysian flag? I don't want to look it up. That'd be cheating. I think that's Malaysia, right? Am I right? Can someone verify? If anyone know if that's the Malaysian flag? Malaysia? Okay, we'll do Malaysia. We'll do Malaysia. All right, Malaysia. We'll just looks like a lovely place. I want to visit Malaysia. Oh. Well, I mean, it was close. We were close to Malaysia. It was technically, what is that, Brunei? No, it is Malaysia. Okay, it is Malaysia. Cool. All right. We got Malaysia. Not bad. Brunei's much smaller than that. All right. It was just across the way of the straits, okay? But it was like across the way in Malaysia, so we're okay. We're okay. All right. Okay, we continue. Where else do we got here? Okay, oh goodness. Jane Brunei, that was a trap, was it? Okay. Jane something. Jane Colony Road. Is this India? Jane Colony. It might be India. That Jane's being from India. Okay, I'm gonna be racist. What do these people look like? Okay, darker kind of. They have like the hat thing on. Okay, let's This could be India. I would guess. So Jane. So probably northwest India. I got you, Matt Sai Guy. Yeah, probably northwest India. I would guess. Yeah, it's India. Okay. Let's do India. I'm gonna say northwest India. There's a lot of Jains, I believe, in northwest India. So since it's Jane Colony Road, we'll just go northwest India. Zoom onto the people. I did. I'll do it again though. But like they have like the one guy had a little hat on. I'll zoom onto other people. God, I feel like a Nazi. I'm like, let's measure their phylogeny. Like anyway, all right. Not Delhi. I think it might be like. Do you think there's a lot of Jains in northwest India, right? Matt Sai Guy. Okay. Oh, is that so? Okay. North. Yeah, Jane Colony Road. So let me just try. I know, right? Like I feel so bad. I'm like, how do these people look? Okay, let's try northeast India. Although, okay, so this sounds bad. There are, yeah, Matt Sai Guy, I feel bad saying this, but there are a lot darker skinned people in southern India than there are in northern India. So I know that sounds bad. I'm just saying, let's go to the south. Let's put it somewhere in the south. Yay. Okay. That wasn't bad. Okay. We did pretty well there. Okay. Let's do, so that was, we did pretty well that one. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Where are we now? We got Brewer Road. You're right, Matt Sai Guy. Brewer Road. This looks American. Look at this. This looks American, doesn't it? Oh, look, there's an empty, look at all the trash. What is this? Bud Light? Oh, it's a, what is that? Miller Light or some shit? Okay. This might be the UK, actually. It might be the UK. Brewer Road, I don't know. That could be anything, really. Hey, in the UK, are your power lines above or below? Are your power lines above or below ground? Because I know in America, most of ours are above ground. I think this is the USA. Above. Okay, so then it might be the UK. Okay, it's a Michelob. Thank you, Doug. Funny that you know that, Doug. Okay, what's this? These green signs make me think it is the USA. Yeah, isn't that Haynes? Doesn't that mean it's probably the USA if it's a green sign? What does that sign say? Oklahoma. Well, that solves it. We are in Kiowa, Oklahoma. Kiowa, Oklahoma. Let's go find Kiowa, Oklahoma. Kiowa, Oklahoma. I don't know where Kiowa is. Kiowa. God, I mean, I don't want to have to find this shit. Okay, well, it's somewhere, right? It's somewhere. We know it's in Oklahoma somewhere. Kiowa, Oklahoma. I know, like Doug, a lot of the Midwest kind of areas look, I mean, these like yeah, looked similar. All right, well, let's just place it somewhere, I guess. I don't know where Kiowa is, so we'll just place it dead in the center and hope that we get close to it, so we don't have to waste time trying to figure it out. Okay, where'd it go? There it is. Let's just, I don't want to place it dead center. Let's place it up here. It looks like it's right on the border. We'll do that. Okay, yes. Oh, we weren't that bad. We weren't that far at all. Okay, it's on the other side of Oklahoma City. This is, oh, it's in the Choctaw Nation. Okay. All right, fantastic. Next. That's kind of fun, guys. How lovely. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh my God. Where the hell did we end up? Oh, guys, look at this shit. So this is clearly, I think this looks like it was probably carved by a glacier, or it could just be a river. It could just be a river. Yeah, this might be Yosemite, or it could be up in Canada. This looks like it is just a picture, so it probably is from a... It could be Switzerland. That is true. This could be anything. There's no words or anything anywhere. I don't think it's green enough for Switzerland, in my opinion. Here. I suspect, I'm going to be American-centric. I suspect it is either, it's one of these up here. It might be Yellowstone even. Southwest Canada. Oop, I don't want that. Eat soggy waffles. Okay, you know what? Let's try. You know, this sounds good, right? Doesn't this sound good? You're guessing one of the Washington Islands? Okay, let's just try Banff National Park because it sounds silly to me. I love our Canadian brothers. Let's just try Banff National Park in Canada. All right, Banff. I think it's Banff, Meowsword. I don't care what you say. Oh, guys, we were deeply wrong. Deeply wrong. This was in Mongolia. This was way up in Mongolia. So I guess technically SoCal was closer because SoCal said it said Washington, which I guess is closer. So this was shh, don't say it, Doug. Don't say it, Doug. Okay, don't say it, all right? This is Corridor, don't you dare, Doug, okay? America bias. I know, Hiyori, okay? Corridor Saradog, okay? We did get the right biome, okay? Okay, all right, let's try another one. We should be humiliated. Let's continue. Let's go to the next one. All right, oh, this is pretty. No, it's not. It's just America. It's definitely America, isn't it? Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this garbage. Not walkable, inaccessible except for by car. Prefab stores. Okay. Please excuse my dear answer. That works too, right? Okay. I used to teach that, Doug. You think it's the Midwest guys? I mean, it looks like it. Oh, National Guard. You want to bet it's a majority-minority community because if there's a National Guard there, they're probably trying some recruiting. They need people who are desperate. Anyway, locally handcrafted. This does look so Midwest. Oh my God, it looks like I could live down the street from this shit. It's also very flat. And that is true, Meowsword, okay? You think it's in not Sioux Falls? Sioux Falls, I think, would be a bit less densely. Jesus Christ, it is America. I feel gross looking at this. Is boring now. Sonora Grill. That's Sonora, isn't that in California? But I mean, it's a chain, so it doesn't mean anything. Scroll back and left. Back and left. So back and right, technically. Oops, whoa. I don't know what I just did there. Oh no, I don't know what I just did. Crap. There we go. Back and so over here. Oh, movies and shit. Oh, this is just a movie theater. Is that what you meant? There was a flag? Where's the flag? The cupcake. Why? God, isn't it so annoying when they spell shop with two P's like it's the 17th century? Okay. Bus stop. Okay, here we go. What's on the... Wait, I see a bus stop. It doesn't help. Okay, where's the flag you saw? I'm trying to see this flag. Where is this flag? Back by Papa John's? I'll go back. Papa John's. Heuse Road. Fall pumpkin sale. That doesn't help, does it? Okay. Where the hell? I don't remember seeing a Papa John's. Am I going crazy? Let's go this way. Was there a Papa John's? Am I going crazy? It's Utah. Are you sure? I don't know. I don't know if I buy it's Utah. Okay, here's a flag. It's probably just a... It's just a American flag. Great. Great. Okay, good. That doesn't help. The ballpark, the junction, that's a... You know what? Maybe it is Utah. You know what? For once in my life, I will listen to... Plate color is orange. Oh, it might be Utah. Okay, fine. I'll listen. For once in my life, I'll listen to meows. Okay, let's see. Let me just double check here. I believe... Oh my God, the sun is bright. Jesus, it is Utah. I'm like a vampire. I can't handle this shit. Okay, we'll try Utah. I'm just double checking. Okay, we'll do Utah. Mexican restaurant. Park Avenue Laundry. All right. Okay, we'll go Utah. All right, Utah. Looks like Arizona plates. Well, everyone blame Meowzord if we're wrong. Everyone blame Meowzord. Here we go. I'll just do a dead center just for fun. Oh, Meowzord was right. Meowzord was right. No, Meowzord, don't yield. You were right. You were right. It was Utah. It was southern Utah. Okay, all right. Okay, okay, Meowzord. All right. So it was southern Utah. I'm sorry. SoCal said it. Thank you, SoCal. SoCal, you were right. Okay, good job, SoCal. Forgive me. I missed what a lot of people were saying, but thank you. So thank you for doing that. That was good. We got Utah. Okay. Oh, that's true. Okay. Okay. Oh God, this is not going to be easy. Look at this shit. This is very Northwoodsy. This could be a lot of places. Are they driving? They're driving on the right side of the road. This could be Canada. I love this kind. Look at that car though. Oh, well, it's kind of a cute little car. This might actually be. This might be the UK, but they are driving on the right side of the road, aren't they? Oh my God, I was so wrong. Guys, I was very wrong when I said that. Look at this. I do not... Okay, guys, but like it could be Russia, but it could also be one of those Eastern European... Does anyone here speak Russian or know any Slavic languages? Because, like, could be Ukraine. But like, how do I say this without being an asshole? This looks too nice for Russia. It could be Ukraine. So, okay. Okay, we'll go Ukraine. Let me just double check first. Let's double check. Yeah, that looks like a very Ukrainian truck there. I just want to, like, if it's Ukraine, there should be a flag or something somewhere. They're very prideful of their country. This might be pre-war though. Let's see if we can see a sign here. I would Olevsk's. Yeah, which sign here? You this sign here? Olevsk's or the other sign? This is beautiful though. Oh, look at this. Aw, no hunting. That's cute. Damn it. Don't shoot Bambi. Huh. Guys, we need to be more specific. Ukraine's a big place. I want to get one that's very close. Let's try up here. Oops, I went too far. What's that sign say right there? Oh my goodness. That doesn't help me at all. It could be Hiyori. I'm being biased, but just find the M7. Okay, I just want something like a flag. We are in the middle of nowhere. I don't think I'm going to find a flag anytime soon. It could be Russia. You know, let's try Ukraine. Let's try Ukraine. Up. It's Ukraine. It is absolutely Ukraine. You know why? Because if there's one word in Ukrainian that I can tell, mainly because it's also written in English, it's Kyiv. So we're in Ukraine. Let's go to Ukraine. So North Woodsy, so it's probably north of Kyiv, I'm guessing. Probably north of Kyiv. Probably near the border. The M, so here's the M. You said it's the M7? Let's find the M7, shall we? I'm guessing it's north of Kyiv. I could be wrong about that, though. Nope, I don't want that. M7 in Ukraine. M14. Right, M4. Where is the M7? M7. Must be all the way over here. H7, M9. Jesus, where is the M7? They make their... Oh, I'm way over in Poland. Oopsie. Okay, let's go back down here. M7, M19, M17, M19. Jesus, I feel like I'm trying to navigate in California or something with all these roads. Okay, and all Californians know the name of roads really well. They're like, take the M7 to the 8.3 and the 5.2, and I'm like, what the F are you talking about? Okay, with full love. Okay, I don't see the M7. Am I blind? Am I blind? I don't see any M7. 14 goes left. 7 should go north-south. Okay. Well, this isn't helping me, really. I can't find... Oh, wait, there's the H7. We want H7, right? Or M7. I'm already forgetting. We want M7, not the H7. Jesus. Though maybe... I don't know. Oh, there's H12. Where is the M7? Am I blind? I don't see any M7 anywhere, guys. Maybe it's hard to see on this map anyway, because it's not exactly a huge map. Can we? I'm just going to put it down somewhere, and then we'll see how close we get to it. We'll see how close we get to it. M18. Let's just put it like on M6 or whatever, and then hope that that's close. Okay. Yeah. Who cares? Let's just do it. Let's just. I don't know. I'm gonna do it where I originally thought it would be, which would be like up here. We'll do up here. Okay. M7. Let's guess. Hey, we were only I was lucky. We were only 30 kilometers out. Kilometers out. That was not bad. That was lucky. Okay. Hey, that wasn't so bad. All right. Let's do this one now. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. This is not helpful. This is not helpful at all. How interesting. Kind of a reddish soil. Reddish soil with sort of reddish... This could be Australia. Could also be South Africa. Oh, there's a truck or something. Yellow license plate. Yellow license plate. Yellow license plate. You think Thailand? That's possible. It could be Thailand, SoCal. Let me just verify here. I want to see if there's like... It could be Thailand, but it's not like... Is this a... Oh, it's kind of an... Oh, a little bridge. This is cute. Look at this river. How adorable. Oh, that's not a river. It's a field. Never mind. Never mind. You think Australia? Look at this house, though. This is like... Oh, I don't know, guys. This looks like it could be Mexico, even. What's the... What's that sign say? Oh, my God. I think... SoCal, might be right here. That looks like... It could be Thai. Oh! Yep. Oh, there's... Okay. Yeah. Yep. I don't know if that's Thai, but I think it is Thai, right? What is this language? This is Thailand, right? What is this language? Matt Saga, do you know this language? Is this an Indian language? Forgive me. It is India. Is it Thai? It could be Thai or Cambodian. Okay, so let's go. I doubt this is Cambodia. I bet it's Thailand. Yeah, let's say Thailand. I'll say Thailand. Let's say Thailand. Let's just go right here, right there, right here. Oh my God. Matt Saigai was right. It was India. It was India. All right. Okay. We were off by quite a few. You were right, Matt Saigai. My forgiveness. Okay, one more, folks. One more, and then we're done here. This is fun, though. I like this. Oh, this is nice. This is cute. This is lovely. I would visit here. Maybe. I don't know. Would I? I don't know if I would. Depends on time and resources and all this other stuff. And it's not really much here, really, to see. It's just kind of scrubby. This would look much better as a mall with a large parking lot, I'll tell you what. There's my American mindset coming out. I'm just kidding. Okay, this is America, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously. A very brushy type area. Large cars with no real purpose apart from being large. Okay, there's some civilization up here. Let's go up here. Are they driving on the... Oh, I see. So they are driving on the right. Okay, he's just being followed. You don't think it's the U.S.? That's very possible. It's not. Let's see if we can... You don't think it's the U.S.? It might not be. It might not be. You're right. Kilometer. Yep. Okay, this might be... Where is this then? This could be Australia, maybe? Or Mexico? It could be Mexico. Could be Brazil. Could be a lot of different things, really. Yeah, good question. I don't know, Meowzord. BA. Could be Brazilian something. This, I don't know, this kind of looks like... What's up here? Like a little lean-to? This is like, there's nothing anywhere. God. If it's not a place America has invaded, I don't know what it is. Okay, like, I think it might be Mexico, folks. It kind of looks like Mexico to me. I got to be honest with you. It kind of looks like... I'm going to go Mexico. I think it's Mexico. It's just so arid. What's over here? I think it's Mexico or Brazil. Yeah, like it has a Mexican feel to it. Arid. These compounds with barbed wire around them and stuff. That sounds bad, but like they do because of animals and other things like that. Yeah, no, I understand. It doesn't look like Germany to me at all. I would say I'm just going to go up here real fast. You think Vietnam, Hiyori? Let me just go up here a little bit. I'm just going to see if... I just want to see what's at the top of this hill. Yeah, more aridness. Okay, let's try for Mexico in this case. Has anyone here been to Mexico? I'm going to see if I can look at this person. Yeah, it doesn't help me much. Okay, well, I'm just going to go for Mexico. Yeah, we'll go. We'll go Mexico. All right. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It really could be a lot of places. I'm just going to go with Mexico. He is writing Asian style. I don't know if there's many. Let's just try Mexico. Let's see what happens. I know, Matt Saigai, but we can't really see Matt Saigai. And there are, this sounds so racialized to me, but there are people in Mexico, Oaxacans that look like, have darker skin and stuff. So let's just try Mexico. I could be completely wrong. It was Brazil. It was goddamn Brazil. Okay. Well, see, those were one of my two guesses. Okay. All right, guys. It was not Mexico. It was Brazil. All right. All right. Did you, Meowzord? Did you, or did you say he has Asian features? I measured his phylogeny. Look, I gave him this racial classification. Therefore, he must be from this area. Okay, I'm joking, Meowzord. I'm being a dick. Okay, you too, Matt Sci Guy. Okay, you racists. You're all a bunch of racists. Okay. Okay, no, I'm joking. Okay. Anyway. All right. Okay. So, all right, guys. I'm gonna put my face back up here. You did, Hiyori. You got it, Hiyori. Hiyori was the one that was right here. Okay. That okay. No, I know, Matt Saiga. I know that. Okay. Okay, guys. All right, you guys. Okay, guys. I'm gonna say goodbye. All right. That was great fun. I thoroughly enjoyed our little game here together. Thank you everyone who contributed, etc. Yeah, I'll figure out the multiplayer, Mauser. That'd be fun if we all could play this. Everyone's a little bit racist. It's true, right? SoCal, great song from the Avenue Q. Okay, anyway. All right. So guys, tomorrow's my day off, another one of my days off. So I won't see you tomorrow. Thank you everyone who contributed. You all know what I'm about to say. I love you all very much. You all know what I'm about to say. By the way, I'm going to be posting another video with my dad, and guess what? Doug, we're going to be reacting to Ren. Okay. So just wanted to let you know, we're going to probably film that tomorrow. All right. So first of all, free Palestine. Second of all, never stop resisting. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourself. And that includes when you watch me. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. See what other people are saying. Don't get caught in an information silo, because the easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. We're living in a fascist moment in this country. Not only in this country, but in other countries around the world. Fascism thrives in an environment where people have lost faith in their democratic institutions. We need major reforms in this country. You cannot stand in the center. If you do, the fascists will walk all over you. Don't let them. Don't be a slug. Resist. On the wall behind me is a sword. The name of that sword is Chainbreaker. Chainbreaker is thought to have been responsible for the death of 7 slave owners. Why do I have it back there? I have it back there to remind everyone that our ancestors made some major sacrifices for some of the things we have today, some of the rights we have, some of the liberties. Please don't let their sacrifice go to waste. Some of those rights and things we've gained through struggle across the world are being rolled back. Don't let them go to waste. And always, always, always fight for a better future. And on that note, folks, I'll see you all later. Have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good morning, day, noon, night, day, wherever you may be in the world. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.